Looks good. Looks like we're okay.
Yeah.
Looks like we're okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to KUMBTV's Eyes Up Mother Brown. We are at Goodison Park this afternoon. Well, we're not, of course, there because we're here talking to you. But West Ham United are at Goodison Park this afternoon, facing Everton in our latest Premier League encounter as the Hammers look to bounce back from that slightly disappointing 2-1 reversal against Brentford at the London Olympic Stadium a fortnight ago. Joining me today, live on the stream, I'm delighted to welcome Rio, who's down there or up there or there, wherever you're sitting. How you doing, Rio? Good to see you.
Yeah, not so bad. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent. And Gordon, aka Gnome, of course, who's joined by brother Jeff this afternoon. How you doing, fellas?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. You all right, bro? No problem. No problem. So
good to see you all. Good to see you. Well, we will be taking you through this afternoon's game, of course. Live alternative commentary coming up from us lot. Moans and groans are plenty, no doubt, as well to accompany the action as we watch on our screens. Do join us for the rest of the afternoon if you are around. Thank you to those of you already joining us on the stream. We look forward to reading your comments in the live chat box throughout the game. Of course, don't forget, you can go to the KUMB.com match thread on the forum to post your thoughts as the game progresses as well. Of course, social media channels, KUMB.com, on Twitter and our Facebook group. Feel free to join in all of those if you possibly can, or just some. Doesn't really matter. Time is pushing on. We have less than 15 minutes to go till kickoff, so we're going to go straight over to Gnome and Jeff, who are going to be bringing us this afternoon's teams. Gentlemen, over to you.
Yeah, one change from that which we might have anticipated. Soufal hasn't recovered from the injury that kept him out of international duty for the last week or so. Ben Johnson comes in at right back to replace. So we line up with Fabianski in goal, Johnson, Zuma, Ogbonna, and Cresswell. Souček, Rice, Bowen, Benrahma, Fornals, and Antonio. On the bench or in the racing car seats, we've got Yarmolenko, Lanzini, Vlasic, Areola, Dawson, Diop, Masuaku, Young, Harrison, Ashby, and Baptiste. For the home side, Everton, they line up as follows. Pickford in goal, Coleman, Godfrey, Keane, Dean, Townsend, Doucouré, Allan, Iwobi, Gray, and Rondon. And this afternoon's match official is Stuart Atwell.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen, for bringing us this teams. Rio, first of all, let's have a quick chat about West Ham. Soufal, of course, the obvious omission, really, from the team there. Any concerns there? Are you quite looking forward to seeing young Ben Johnson out there this afternoon?
The last time I think I was on with everyone, I did express a few concerns about Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the last couple of games he's appeared in, he has impressed me really well. He's knuckled down, got on with the job. He's an obvious third choice, what with Fredericks being out, Soufal being out. But when he has been called upon, he's done more than okay. So I'm looking forward to him stepping up to the mark today. It's going to be an incredibly tough game because Everton a side on the up, if you ask me. Under Benitez, they're playing some great football. Mm-hmm. And then midfield is where it's going to be decided today. And I just hope that young Ben has got his mettle about him today and can help nullify that left-hand side attack.
Yeah, I mean, he did a fantastic job, didn't he, at Old Trafford in the cup recently when he was thrown into the side. So fingers crossed, I guess that we can do it again.
Yeah, and also he had a very good game against Rapid Vienna at home.
He did, yeah, of course, yeah. Yes, thank you for reminding me about that one. But yes, So of course, no Soufal today. No, Vlasic, of course, back with his former employees, as of course is Davy Moyes. And someone else who's sort of been in good form in the last couple of weeks, we haven't seen much of it apart from the obligatory YouTube clips, is Andrei Yarmolenko, 2 goals in his last 2 internationals for the Ukraine. Looks like, he might have found his mojo a bit again. Or do you think he kind of just reserves that for, his country?
Difficult, because I think when he's playing for us, he's kind of asked to do a slightly different role. and he's clearly not first choice for us. So quite apart from being asked to do that, playing a slightly different position than he does when he's playing for Ukraine, he's also saddled with the burden of coming on with the last 15 minutes to go and try and sort something out, which as you and I know, when you're playing, it's a completely different kettle of fish to being in at the start, and you've got the pace of the game. Whereas, if you've got 15 minutes, well, it can take you 15 minutes to work out where you are. So, but obviously, clearly, he's well trusted by the Ukraine side.
Yeah.
Is he one short of the record for them? Or?
4, I think it is, isn't it? I think he's 4 behind Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Something like that, anyway. Not an a long way away.
Yeah. So, talking of dull stats, apparently this is Ogbonna's 199th game for us.
Is it really?
Yeah. And talking about Ben Johnson, we haven't let a goal in when he's been on the pitch this season. Apparently.
Good stats. I can see Rio looking with a little bit of envy from below the screen. It's usually, of course, Rio's domain.
That's where I'm quitting now. I'm quitting while I'm ahead now. On that. No more stats.
Rio, have you got any little stats for us or tidbits that you can throw in before the start?
I did have 2, but no, I'm just beating me to it. If you believe that, you believe anything.
I haven't nicked you.
Excellent. Let's turn our attention briefly to our opponents this afternoon. We just said there, didn't we, that Everton are a team on the up, looking much better this season. Of course, they've got a 100% record at home, haven't they, Rio, so far? But they've faced 3 of the 4 teams that are currently bottom or holding the bottom places at the moment. So I guess you can't really, tell an awful lot from that, apart from the fact that, they can dispatch teams they're expected to beat with consummate ease. But what do you think looking at that team today? I mean, there's a couple of obvious faces missing from the side that I'm sure Benitez would love to include. But where's the danger, man? Where's the real threat to West Ham coming from?
Yeah, I don't think it's the midfield. We've got and again, I'm going to kind of bump up the channel a little bit here. If you watch the rather excellent podcast provided by Chris Wilkinson and the analysis given there, it is the midfield where the battle is going to be today. We're a side adapting to Declan Rice's new kind of Scott Parker-esque kind of role. It's also affected the way that Thomas Souček plays.
Yeah.
Everton's midfield of Alan, Doucouré, the enigmatic Alex Andros Townsend, who flits in and out of professional football for me. He has a spell of being great for about 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
Then reverts to looking like odd job from Carry On Screaming for the rest of about 2 or 3 months before reverting to type again. At the moment, he's in professional footballer mode.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of a worry for me. When he's playing well, he's a bit of a threat.
Yeah.
Damari Gray, a player I've always kind of really liked, come under the radar a little bit into the Everton side, and he's performing well as well. And in this Solomon Rondon, he's someone who spent time out of the country, obviously, but he would have done a more than adequate job for us. He would have been almost like for like replacement for Antonio.
Yeah.
And they're not going to miss Calvert-Lewin as much as we would miss Antonio.
Sure. Yeah, that's a very valid point, I think. It's interesting. We were linked quite extensively, weren't we, with Rondon over the summer, but another one of those that didn't come off. But known preview Percy, of course, has pointed out that Rondon has been following Benitez around for the last few years, wherever he may roam.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? It's good to spot that one. He'd gone out to, was it Dalian Professional was the Chinese team. Yeah. And he did have a spell with Moscow, I think, on loan. But the Chinese clubs did all this stuff of signing players on ridiculously large salaries, which that lasted a year or so. And then the Chinese authorities then put some sort of wage cap and banned them from doing it. So suddenly everybody up sticks and left, didn't they? So and there were a lot of departures by mutual consent, with the Chinese not wanting to pay the salaries and the players not wanting to lose out on something. So there were a few decent payoffs. Teams are just coming out, by the way.
Okay,
Anyone's
good stuff.
interested in the game.
Good stuff. I'm still fatting around with stuff. I've not even looked at the TV screen yet, but at Sky, isn't it, this afternoon we're on?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
So let's, well, I guess in that case, we better turn our attentions to predictions then, chaps. Rio, do you want to kick us off today? What do you think this afternoon?
I'm coming in with quite a lot of trepidation. Traditionally tough place for us to go to, although in recent years it's been a little bit happier. But I'm just not comfortable with the way we've adapted completely to this new kind of system we have in the midfield.
Yeah.
Against a very tricky away home side. I think it's going to be 2-1, but I think it's going to be 2-1 to Everton.
Okay. 2-1 to the host, says Rio. Noam, what are you thinking?
Slightly less pessimistic or more optimistic, depending on your viewpoint. I think might be tough. I think we'll get a 2-2 draw.
Okay. 2-2 says Noam. Jeff, we should ask you, really. What do you think? Any predictions for today?
What do you think the score will be? Good question.
It's a good question.
West Ham win.
West Ham win. Yeah.
Like it. What score, Jeff? What do we reckon?
I'm going to say yes. The doctors will wait and see.
Wait and see. Says 2-1. 2-1. Yeah. 2-1.
We'll take that. Jeff going for a 2-1 Hammers win. So that's 1 win, 1 defeat, and 1 draw then so far. I'm kind of a bit pessimistic personally. I just there's something about going to Everton. We, although we've kind of bucked the trend a bit, haven't we, recently? It's never really been a happy hunting ground for us over the years. So I think I might go with Rio and predict. I'm actually going to go for a 3-1 defeat today. A little bit of pessimism from the team today. But Jeff, anyway, keeping the happy vibes and the positive vibes up, which is good to see. Let us know what you think. Everyone joining us on the stream. Good afternoon to Robert, to Andy, Micklet, Hobo, and that's you, no, actually. I was going to say hello to you, but I've already done that because we're on the stream together. Hobo going for 2.
I was just responding on the Prog T-shirt question. It's the Mellotron T-shirt.
Okay, so, correctly spotted by Andy Walsh, of course.
Yeah. It's the old proto sampler, I suppose you'd call it. Basically, a big keyboard instrument used to have tape strips in, which would play when you press the keyboard down. Very heavy, very difficult to keep in tune and in sync. Famously used, if you remember the beginning of Strawberry Fields Forever.
I do, of course.
Those flute noises are a Mellotron.
There you go.
There you go.
Every day's a school day on the KUMBTV live stream, everybody. I mean,
it's a very big prog instrument, the Mellotron. Nowadays, of course, it's all just samples, but
indeed.
Yeah, happy days.
But, anyway, that's enough of crappy old music anyway, and references to tunes
System
of the
the Acid House T-shirt on, yeah.
Rio, is that a Motorhead shirt?
Motorhead football shirt, yeah.
Ace of Spades is that? I think I can just about make it. Is that right?
Yep. 40th anniversary.
How did I guess that? Amazing. I'm quite impressed there. 40th anniversary. Amazing stuff. There you go. That's the musical side of things from us today. Cal going for a 2-1 win for us. Good to see it, Cal. Assuming Cal, of course, is a West Ham fan, and a little bit of positivity. Are we underway yet? We're just about getting ready. Noam, are they taking the knee on your screen?
Yeah, we're just about. It's all gone quiet for a second, and
okay,
and they're just taking the knee now. So,
okay.
And, seems to be quite a lengthy knee taking, that one, but anyway, we're off now. And say we're kicking left to right, long ball played deep, and that's just going to run out for a goal kick. Just waiting for the clock to turn up so we can do a time check. But
yes, I was going to say that.
Here we go.
Give me a shout when you've got it.
Okay, we're now 22, 23, 24 seconds in. Just wonderful, dangerous area, and Souček, nice ball inside. Souček squares the ball, but drives it across, hits Bowen, and it goes out harmlessly for a goal kick. But promising first
good start.
40 seconds or so, yeah.
Good start. Who was it who mentioned the podcast? Was it you, Gordon, or Rio? I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Rio. Do you want to just? You touched on the change in the midfield dynamic between Souček and Rice that had been mentioned. For the benefit of everyone who hasn't heard the KUMB podcast yet, And if you haven't, why not? You should do. It's excellent. Jack Elderton and the other guys on there, all three of them. Just run through quickly what you're referring to there, if you would.
Well, there's a lot of talk about the way that our midfield, and Thomas Souček in particular this season, hasn't been as effective as last year. And obviously the murmurings in the crowd that he's not up to speed. He's not an attacking force anymore. But they would delve into the stats behind it. And his actual stats in most categories are improved in terms of pass completion, defensive ability. The only thing he's not doing is coming late into the box as he used to last year. And that's because his game's adjusted a little bit to accommodate for Declan Rice's kind of increased role in the side and as more of a dynamic midfield leader and an attacking force this year. But the fallacy that Thomas Souček isn't performing as well in footballing terms is exactly that. It's a complete falsehood. He's just adapted his game to accommodate for Declan.
There you go.
Another promising move down the left. Cresswell got into a good position, played a diagonal crossing just 2 or 3 yards ahead of Antonio, but it was nice little work on the left-hand side there. I mean, Antonio had about to be 12 foot tall to get a leg on that one, but again, sort of fairly even start, fairly promising. Some good, let's say, Ben Rama and Cresswell combining well there.
Yeah, good start. Good start from the Hammers so far. Good evening to Jim Sawyer joining us live from Adelaide, Australia. I hope everything's all right over there, Jim, for you and everybody. And we're about 3 minutes in. If you're just joining us, West Ham United 0 or Everton 0, West Ham United 0. The Hammers are slightly changed team. Just going back very quickly, if I may, to the podcast. If you haven't seen it, the KUMB podcast has returned. We're already 2 episodes in of what we're deeming to be Series 8, just kind of carrying on from the originals, really, in terms of numbers. You can download that live from any of the usual places. You can download it from our YouTube channel, listen to it via the KUMB site from the news section there. You go into the news pages, you can find it on there. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and all the other places that the kids get their audio delights from these days. Used to be Radio 1 with a pause button back in the day, but I fear things have moved on a little bit now. 3.5 minutes gone. Everton 0, West Ham United 0. Rio, what are we noticing so far from the opening exchanges in terms of how the Hammers are lining up here?
In terms of positional sense, nothing really shocking. Pretty much as you were. And the only thing I can really say is that it's been a very positive start from us. Yeah, very much on the front foot. We've asked a lot of questions, playing the ball around nicely. It's nothing rushed, nothing kind of hasty. It's always back keeping possession, and it's been very promising. And we're on the attack again. Antonio now just outside the Everton box feeds into slightly heavy touch there. But yeah, we still got the ball. We're still working it, and Everton's been back possession. But yeah, we've been playing really well so far.
Yeah, really bright opening from the Hammers. Good stuff so
nice,
far. 4.5 minutes in.
Nice penetrative passing in there that I knew you were going to say that. That found Bowen in space. Who the move did sort of collapse a little bit when Antonio's ball wasn't the greatest, but they're keeping possession nicely, but it's not just all sort of across the back four as we get it across the back four now, but they are looking. Brilliant timing. They are looking to actually do something with it. I mean, we watched the last 10 minutes of the first half of Swansea Cardiff, and it was double ditch water. It was going backwards. It was starting and finishing with a goalkeeper with about 10, 15 minutes in between, sort of thing. Now, Bowen going down the right-hand side. He's got Johnson outside in, plays it Johnson. Johnson's cross is blocked out, though. But Bowen, blown box, the attempted clearance. He's got the ball back. He's in the box. Squares it. Squares it. Nobody can get on the end of it. It's cleared by Everton. But we're, again, pushing. It's looking decent here.
Lovely touch there from Johnson to take control of that ball with the chest.
That's Antonio, left-hand side of the box. Gets the cross in. That's punched away by Pickford. I thought he might have been able to catch that. Everton struggling to clear the lines at the moment, and it's back sort of 10 yards in the Everton half and we're regrouping, beginning to go forward again.
Bit of a panic punch, that one, Rio. Do you reckon?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
A bit strange one.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Maybe surge into the box here. Oh. Well, West Ham surged into the box. I think it was Saeed Benrahma.
Yeah.
He tried to lay it off towards Bowen, but it was just slightly behind. But again, everything so far has been on a positive foot for West Ham. Yeah. Ben Johnson's done incredibly well. Looks very assured going forward. It's just that final ball at the moment. It's just not connecting with that final ball. Little stat just popped up on Sky there. Possession so far, only 6 minutes into the game, obviously, 82% for West Ham.
Wow, impressive stuff. A couple of decent moves. That ball in the 3rd minute from Cresswell across the box, just evading Antonio, and then as the guys just said there, Saeed Benrahma surging into the box. Just not quite coming to, no final finished product at the moment, but looking good so far. No, I'm very, very happy with what we've seen so far. Yeah,
controlling it so far, which is always a bit worry knowing us. Yeah. We want to throw in deep in Everton territory on our left-hand side, their right. It's looking worryingly okay. You'll be pleased to know that my mum just uttered quietly just pausing there as the ball was played in, but just uttered the little Celtic prayer that Mum does when West Ham are playing. So I don't know how it's spelt, but Irish Gaelic's never spelt properly, but it sounds like something like Dusha Dusha. So that should help us. Cross into the left. Pickford does try to catch that one, but drops it. Perhaps he's been dazzled by that very weird goalkeeping shirt he's got on.
Yeah, but it's almost like a Hacienda knockoff, isn't it, in some way?
I'll surprise you now. I've been to Hacienda when it was a place to go.
When was that? What are we talking like the early years?
91.
91. So you were there, right? In the you were probably buying
only the once, fine.
Pills off. What was his Terry Tablet or whatever his name was? Dancing alongside Sean Ryder on the dance floor, no doubt.
No, I don't dance. That'd be silly.
Shuffling then. A little shuffle.
Does Darcy Bustle fill in her own tax returns?
Just coming up to 9 minutes gone. Everton nil, West Ham United nil. The Hammers in complete control at the moment, as the stat just showed on the screen. West Ham with over 80% of possession. Everton unable to get their foot on the ball at the moment. Now, if we had the volume up on our screens, chaps, we might be able to hear how the Everton fans were responding to this. I doubt it's. Well, we've just seen Antonio burst forward anyway.
Oh, he's just been booked for diving. Well, I want to see that again. Let's have a look. He's turned well.
What do we reckon?
Oh, it's been caught.
It's clearly a foul.
There's enough contact there, I think. That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just to confirm it was an actual foul. Jamie Carragher just said it's a good decision by the referee. Yeah, he knows nothing, as we know. So that confirms it was a complete foul.
Liverpool support even though dives from a turnip. So
well, there you go. First yellow card of the day issued to Michail Antonio for purportedly diving, which quite patently wasn't the case as the replays showed. Clearly a connection made, but the game goes on. We are 10 minutes through this tie, Everton West Ham United. The Hammers, as I said, in complete control. Very, very shortly, we will go over and have a look at the two forums, just see what the fans are thinking. West Ham, of course. The KUMB.com match thread on the forum. Rio hopefully will be able to keep an eye on that. Noam, I don't know if you've got the opportunity to do so, but we also are going to be keeping an eye on the Grand Old Team, which is the Everton equivalent, as we return to the game now.
Yeah, we're working the ball around the box. Ball played in from the left. It was partly brought by an Everton defender. Came out to Benrahma, who swung a leg at it first time, and I don't know if they've got a rose head there, but that's roughly where it would have ended up had there been one.
I think that was very much Benrahma class 2020 rather than Benrahma 21, wasn't it? But
probably had time to take a touch there as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Grand Old Team you want me to have a look at, did you say?
If I mean, that seems to be the over the years has been the most popular equivalent of KUMB. So perhaps we can see
what I can do.
the Everton fans are saying as we progress through the game. Mark saying we need Rice on the YouTube live chat. Mark saying that we need Rice to sit more and let Souček play his natural game. Mark obviously looking for a return to the way we played last season, as opposed to the slightly amended way the two guys are performing together, as was touched on by Rio a few moments ago and in the new KUMB podcast story in the week. West Ham pushing forward anyway, Rio, on the right-hand side, just coming to nothing there.
Yeah, and again, we're on the attack. A mixture of Zuma, Souček and Rice feed the ball out to the left-hand side of Creswell. And we're just working the ball around really nicely. Well, we're moving it with pace as well. We're not letting the Everton settle one little bit. It's normally we kind of peter off after 4 or 5 minutes and like kind of go back a little bit, take a breather. But the pace has been incessant so far. So it's a really good sign. We're just lacking that final ball, as I said. Yeah. Lack of a clinical pass. But I can't say anything more than how positive this has been. And it's very unlike a West Ham side to go up with Goodison and absolutely boss the game like this that early.
Yeah, it's very, very unusual. Declan Rice as well, Gnome, seems to be sort of finding his way into the game. Had a fairly quiet opening, but sort of getting quite involved in everything at the moment.
Yeah. Now, Everton are on the break here. Rare foray into our half, but that's been Zuma's just mopped that up, and we're playing it away now. Yeah. So right. Rice seems to definitely be playing forward now. Now, Antonio's just gone down, and it was something and nothing, and all that. It was less of a foul than the one that just clipped him a minute ago, really. But Keane's just been, probably a foul, but But free kick to West Ham, about 10 yards into the Everton half, and it's just a replay across. I've managed to find grand old team anyway.
Excellent. Good.
Not been very complimentary. Have we spent the last fortnight in the pub? And Iwobi's getting all sorts of. They're not too keen on Iwobi.
Right.
So another sort of stat there is. Iwobi is he's a Hornchurch lad. He used to go to Campion School, which me and a number of forum members, alumni of that establishment. So we're going forward down on the left, Cresswell now, Cornell's. Antonio's pass is a bit wayward. Oh, but it's picked away by Souček. A little bit sort of scrappy in the box there. Everton are only clearing their lines really sort of 10, 20 yards outside the box. And got to make this pressure count, though.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's so totally one-sided at the moment, Rio, isn't it? I mean, we are absolutely all over them. We're nearly quarter of an hour in, and I can't remember Fabianski having a touch yet. No,
not at all. I'm actually dying for Sky to pop on their meaningless stats again, because I think their possession rate's gone up a bit further. It's just, this is like a training game for us at the moment. We're just waltzing through them at will, collecting the ball when we do lose possession and coming straight back at them. We're either going to grind ourselves into the ground or them. I don't know which one's going to come first.
Well, let's hope we can capitalise on all this pressure soon and stick one in the back of the net. I mean, for all the good work, I think I can only count one shot so far, and that was the Ben Rama effort that, as Noam rightly pointed out,
Ben Rama. No, promising. Again, we got the ball into the box. It got blocked. It came out. We regrouped. Ball got played into Ben Rama, and let's be charitable and say he was trying to cross that to the far post, but it was another dreadful. It was high, wide, horrible. So still, it won't be getting all the stick from the Everton support. Yeah, he's been the best one of which saying he's been West Ham's best player. 100% pass completion so far. He looks decent.
Harsh is. Didn't they pay something like 30, 32 million to take him up there for Arsenal?
I can't remember what his fee was.
It's something ridiculous.
All I know is a Campion up.
Yeah.
I think it was about 30 million, though. Yeah, you're right.
It was something like that, wasn't it, in that region? An awful lot of money, but one of those crazy fees that you can't really justify. It does. Someone mentioned, I think it was the team on Grand Old Team, we mentioned about, they were asking whether the Everton team had been in the pub for the last 2 weeks, and it kind of prompted me to ask you guys, and indeed everybody who's watching on the live stream, what you do when there's an international break on. How do you feel your weekends? Do let us know, especially if you did anything unusual. We've just seen back to the game quickly. Just seen a flash across the area for the right-hand side from the aforementioned Iwobi, in fact, I believe. Or was it Townsend? Actually, I've just seen the screen come back on.
It was a dangerous looking cross, but Everton certainly didn't have anyone in the middle. And I'm not sure that was coming at the back post. We got there far too late. Johnson swung a leg at it, missed. But that's really Everton's first, not even a chance really, but first point of concern from our point of view, I suppose. So might give them a bit of heart. So.
Fabianski's first touch by the looks of it. Rio, what did you do last weekend when there was no domestic football
on? I've been made an orphan recently.
Oh dear.
Because my mum and dad have moved down into this county called Kent, which I've not been particularly enamoured with in the past. But so I went down to visit them. Okay. Watched the England game against Andorra.
Fell asleep.
Just about managed to stay awake. Then decamped to bed about 9:30, and that was about it. Very dull weekend for me.
We know how to live over here. We just seen Everton have a shot, actually. Decore, I think it was, who's had their first effort, which kind of emulated Ben Rama's previous effort. I think going for the highest shot that they could possibly take, right over the bar. No, about yourself. What did you do no direction? Were you doing anything unusual or anything?
No, I mean, took the opportunity. The lovely girlfriend came round on Saturday, and we went out for a meal, and just saving my energy before I had to go and edit the preview Percy's which trying to make head or tail of those when they start coming in twice a week is quite an effort. Translating them into English.
Yes, I can imagine. Oh, well, there you go. That's let us know if you did anything a bit more exciting than us guys. I mean, I don't think I can even match that. I think I had an early night last week because I was supposed to be coaching my new team. But anyway, if you did do anything interesting during your international break, or do anything interesting at any international breaks, if you have something else you do when football's not on, do let us know in the live chat. Mark says, "Oi, Rio, nothing wrong with Kent, mate. I've been here for 10 years now." You need to upset somebody. Just coming up to 19 minutes gone. Everton 0, West Ham United 0. The Hammers pretty much in complete control with Rio. Everton slightly, just beginning to feel their way back into the game in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's only been 15 minutes, but they finally realised there's a game started. It's only expected that the home side should come back into it. Yeah. But we're still asking all the major questions. At the moment, I am so confident that I'm going to revise my pre-game prediction. I'm going to say we're going to lose 3-1 now. There's some interesting chatter about the Antonio decision, the booking on the forum. Yeah. It's actually a mixture of decisions, which I'm quite surprised at, to be honest.
Okay.
Wolf 359 has put, not good from Antonio there. We don't want to see that. He didn't need to do it, and he's been booked, obviously. Now, I still can't see where he actually dived. Justin's has put ridiculous decision to book him now. West Ham has put, if Antonio gets sent off today, I'll be incredibly annoyed. We've got these on toast, nothing stupid now.
Sorry, good chance there. Ball played in from the right, and Fornals was in the middle, swung leg at it. That was goal bound, but it got blocked. So, but yeah, I mean, we're settling down into a little bit where we were before Everton had that 2 or 3 minutes a few minutes ago.
We've just seen another one of those useless stats, passes in the final third. West Ham 56 to Everton's 12. Completed Everton 5, West Ham 44. There you go. But of course, the stat that matters, as we always say. Everton 0, West Ham United 0. Rio, yeah, you were touching on the responses to that booking for Michail Antonio. Yeah,
and there was another run of comments that seemed to go completely against the grain. That we all three of us thought it was it wasn't a dive. But John has put, it's rare to see a dive get penalised outside the box.
Yeah.
Macca 1973 has put, he agreed with all 359. But he said it'd be nice to see one players from the top 6 clubs get booked for the similar kind of misdemeanors.
Yeah.
Junco Partners put, oh, excuse me.
So Everton having a little bit of a spell, a couple of shots. One was going wide, but was blocked anyway, and the follow-up shot was also blocked. And now, Bonner's cleared there, and Everton player's gone down clutching his leg like he's dead, and then when he realises he's not getting anything, and he's up like, have a look at it now.
Yeah.
Now, well, what's that if that's not a dive then? You know, he's thrown himself up in the air to, you know.
Yeah, it's
just a bit daft, really. Yeah,
I think going back to what
that sort of exaggerated.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, going back to what Rio was saying there, Rio, you said about how it's kind of frustrating that rule, you know, if it was applied evenly, it would be, you know, you wouldn't mind so much, but it definitely seems that, I mean, Gnome, for example, is always, touching on Salah and how he's, constantly doing that and never, ever penalised. And, it just reinforces that view, doesn't it, that there's one rule for the wealthier clubs and another rule for the rest of us. But was there any more comments from that, Rio?
Yeah, Junco Partner put, Antonio anticipated the contact, gone down and made himself look like a bit of an idiot.
Right.
Just a couple of comments coming through, and but it really goes against the grain of what we all saw. I don't know if we're seeing a different game, but I didn't see much in that at all. Certainly not worthy of a red card. Sorry,
no,
yellow card. Also, I apologise to the audience as well for me stumbling over words and stuff like that. I've overdosed on cough-linctus. Now, I did say cough-linctus, people. So I'm not being feeling so great the last couple of days. So I apologise now.
No need to apologise, mate. You're doing a fine job as always. Yeah, I mean, it's actually interesting because the people you referred to there, Rio. I mean, these are people that we know well, and they're good posters. They're not the sort of people that jump to silly, unsubstantiated opinions. So I guess we'll have to have a look at that again and just see what they saw, because interesting to see such a varied view of opinions on the same incident. Anyway, but we are just over halfway through the first half. It's still Everton 0, West Ham United 0. Neither goalkeeper with a save to make yet, but West Ham looking the strongest. We've just seen the stats come up on the TV. No shots on target. Everton 3 shots, West Ham 2. The Hammers really, I mean, known for the dominance we've had in terms of possession, and we've the one thing that you could accuse us of having done so far is not turning that into anything meaningful, isn't it? Really, given that statistic.
The pace has dropped a little bit last few minutes, and it's kind of a bit of a scrappy midfield thing, but. Antonio doing some nice turn and winning a throw in out on the left, but again, that's all sort of roughly halfway line-ish. You want to see Antonio turning on the edge of the box. Just it's slightly more dangerous territory, shall we say? But so just give them the ball away now to coming down our right-hand side. So
looking to break there.
Scrappy little bit of play on our left hand side. It's just gone out for a goal kick.
It's actually really good work from Declan Rice there, isn't it? Tracked his man all the way back and made sure nothing come of it. So good stuff for the Hammers. But no goals yet. Not really anything to write home about. This could be a short discussion at half time. We look back at the highlights of the first half if it stays like this. But let's have a quick hop over to Merseyside, Noam, and just see what the Evertonians are making of what they've seen so far. I mean, Iwobi, when we last visited, grand old team, was getting a bit of a coating from the home support. Anyone else taking any stick now?
There was a comment on that Antonio booking that said, actually, I think that could have been a foul, but I'm not a fan of players kicking it a mile away and getting a cheap free kick for that. So a bit of odds there. That shot from Iwobi was going 10 yards wide. He was only 8 yards from goal, and the follow-up comment that was, "That's what £35 million gets you."
Like it.
It just seemed to be Iwobi, excuse me, is the major sort of. I think they want. Is it Anthony Gordon? Oh, now, sorry, cross drilled in from Ben Rama towards Antonio. It's from a sort of very shallow angle. Antonio would have done well, A, to get anything on that, and B, to actually divert that in the general direct goal. But interestingly, the centre half who was marking him, giving him a yard there. So we can get decent crosses in. Antonio seems to be capable of working a bit of space for himself.
Yeah, I think
Pickford just found touch. He really is getting sort of blinded by that shirt.
Godfrey, I think, was the centre half in question then. But I think what's interesting, chaps, so far is that everything that's been put into the box from West Ham has come from the left-hand side. Now, I don't know if that's perhaps because Soufal isn't playing and they're a little reticent to send Ben Johnson forward, but we saw the Cresswell cross from earlier, and there's a couple, the Ben Rama cross that we wasn't sure whether it was a shot coming from the left-hand side. We've just seen that other one going. So it kind of, I don't know if they've perhaps identified a weakness, in crosses from the left-hand side from Everton. But what do you reckon, Rio? Anything in that?
Well, Iwobi's going to get some more pelters here because they've gone down our left-hand side and Jimmy got across, and Iwobi had an air shot. Now, so ball played through there, but it was just a little bit too far. Let's have a look now. Yeah.
I tell you, that is a terrific pass from Antonio on the outside of the foot. Superb.
Yeah.
But back to Iwobi.
Great
anyway.
done on Goddard, and Iwobi's just taken an air shot there. I'm going to go back on Grand Old Team to see what that's going to say. That's going to be.
Rio, I was asking you about something, and it's completely slipped my mind. What I was saying now? Can you remember?
I ain't got a clue, mate. I'll tell you, I think Iwobi's getting a lot of undue criticism here. I think he's been a fine signing for us. 34 million plus add-ons, apparently. Wow. I don't know if the add-on was like when you play against West Ham, you got absolutely rank.
Yeah. That's an awful lot of money anyway. I mean, there was a spate of those, wasn't there, in that sort of period when kind of seemingly average players, I guess, it's a bit harsh to call a Premier League player an average player, but I guess you know what I mean in terms of their peers anyway. Seems an awful lot of outlay for a player that hasn't really provided an awful lot. But anyway, fortunately for the Hammers, as Rio pointed out, Iwobi completely missing that cross that came over there from the right-hand side, and West Ham lived to fight another day. It's still, and they're showing it again. Actually, poor Iwobi. I mean, they've just shown it for a third time on the TV. Yeah. And really, he made a complete mess of that name, didn't he?
Grand Old Team comments. I'm trying to find one that I can actually quote you. There's lots of emojis, and I think the most printable one is "Good dummy, Iwobi."
You should post a comment on yourself there, no? You should sign up and register and put, at least he's not Yannick Bolasie.
Half an hour gone anyway, or just about. Everton 0, West Ham.
West Ham trying to get some passing going. That's some good play there. Bowen central plays it out wide to Johnson. Square ball, squares it, but it's behind everybody, and it's too far in front of Antonio and too far behind everyone else, and Everton can clear it.
Kind of interesting, isn't it, that I was just saying that Johnson hasn't really been involved on the right flank, and there he is putting across him. But
Fornals has just picked up a yellow. He's looking innocent on that. I think he might not have an awful lot to complain about when we see the replay on that. Good ball in from Iwobi. He's caught him. It's he's going for the ball. It's not one of those let's kick somebody ones, but I think that's fair enough. Just he's still looking upset about it. Yeah. But,
I think he's upset, isn't he? Because it was a genuine challenge. There was no to bring the player down. It was just a little bit. Was it Townsend? I've got.
I hope so.
But two hammers in the book anyway. Michail Antonio going in the book for an apparent dive, according to the referee, after 9 minutes. Pablo Fornals, the second hammer to go in the book.
Struggling to get the ball clear here. Oh, well, cross came in from Iwobi. Fabianski managed to punch it out, and we sort of kind of cleared it. Not a very good 2-minute spell there for us, but it's back. Everton now beginning to probe a little bit. Good ball out to the left-hand side. Yeah, that's going to go out for a goal kick. Yeah, so we can regroup and all that. Yeah, a little bit worrying that. It's just about to show it again. We had a couple of chances to clear that and didn't. And Iwobi's cross sort of cut out, not very convincingly by Fabianski. He might have even caught that, really. He had a decent... Cresswell sort of stepped in at the end and managed to get it clear. But that was a little bit of concern there, I think.
Yeah, it was. Fabianski, of course, retiring recently from international football in order to concentrate on his domestic career. Played his final game, didn't he, last week, and was given a standing ovation by the fans. Left the pitch in tears, overcome with emotion at the reception received from the Poles.
That's poor from West Ham. 2 players left it to each other, and Everton could break now on cutting in, ball edge of box. Now out on the right wing again, but those 2 players leaving it to each other. Oh, Decore's come in from deep and just headed harmlessly wide, but that was of our own making. I think you say that one.
I think either way, looking at what we're seeing now, Rio, Everton's certainly beginning to get a foothold in the game at last. It's taken a while, but they've finally managed to threaten our goal after what was a dreadfully slow start for them.
Yeah, I think they've realised that if they try and actually deny us possession and try and work us, force into errors, we can be a little bit vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Decore had made a late run there. Got a reasonable connection on it, just not on target. Fabianski concerned me a little bit now.
Yeah,
it's not the first time this season.
No, not at all.
He's come out and flapped at the summit, which there's absolutely no need for. I think the biggest threat to him was I think it was Zuma at the front post.
Yeah,
connecting to it. But yeah, he had time to collect that ball and just settle things down. But the punch was more erratic than the Pickford one in the first half, because that was absolutely completely unnecessary. This one's worse. Not very good from Fabianski there.
No, I just wonder if the rising calls for the inclusion of Areola in the first team and maybe just having him there has affected him at all. But anyway, West Ham on the attack now.
Come on. Yes. Come on.
Oh, it's a flag up.
Well, West Ham do have the ball in the net, as you probably heard from the chats, but Thomas Souček it was who got the last touch, but the flag is up from the linesman on the right-hand side. Souček looks absolutely gutted. Good stuff from the Hammers, though. No, much, much better.
Yeah, some great moves there. Yeah, he's off. He's about a foot off. Ball had gone in straight in rather than Pickford pulling off a good save, then we'd be 1-0 up. But shame that. It was a good move. Some promising stuff on the right-hand side there. From Benrahma, lovely run. Basically used, I think Johnson was running outside him. And I think it was Barry Davies' famous commentary, used him by not using him and turned away and cut inside. Yeah, but shame that. But anyway, a slight bit of excitement anyway.
Much better from the Hammers anyway, Rio. The most threatening we've looked so far in the opening half. Yeah,
very much so. Also, it's great to see Thomas Souček in that area we discussed earlier that he's not really been getting into this season. On the edge of a attack that kind of breaks down, he picks up the pieces and finds the back of the net. He was about a foot offside. There wasn't a lot in it, but I think one of the noticeable things in that move as well is I think Benrahma almost sold himself, let alone everyone else, because he beat 2 players and looked up and I thought, I've still got the ball here, which is I think to surprise everyone. He's not had the greatest game today.
No, he's not been on it, has he, just yet? But involved quite extensively, so that's a good sign. But anyway, West Ham looking to build again on the left-hand side winning a throw-in as we enter the 37th minute of the game. We're still waiting for our first goal. Crystal, with the throw-in, Gnome, over to you.
Yeah, not much happening. Ball with Pickford at the moment, and his little brother tries to wind me up here, but but he's just told me to behave myself. So yeah,
Tell him, Jeff.
yeah. So I'll have a look at grand old team and see what they got to say about that, because I can imagine that might have prompted. Let's see if they've managed to blame Iwobi for it somewhere along the line.
But so we're another 8 minutes or so away from half time. The Hammers have certainly more than held their own so far. No jump in when you've got something to add to the grand old team. Anyway, feel free. But we've just seen Everton break, and the shots come in from about 20 yards from Demarai Gray. And it's a weak effort. It's just rolled straight through to Fabianski. We really shouldn't have any problems saving that one. I reckon even you or I might have managed to get complaining.
The Everton lot are complaining about a foul potentially on Decore in the build-up to that. But they're full of praise for the save from Pickford, which was a good save. Yeah. But, I mean, the comment from one of the Everton lads there is Rice and Souček are the best players here. And they're suggesting they should be going 3 in the middle to counter them.
I would imagine Benitez is going to have a look at that, isn't it, at half time anyway, because West Ham are winning everything. West Ham picking their pockets now and looking to break once again, but I'm sure that's going to be a.
Now, here's something.
That's interesting. What do you make of that one then, no?
I think we've been done there. It's a lovely ball through. Let's put it this way. It made more of it than it was, I think, as Carragher says. But what's he given?
It's a corner, isn't it?
He has given the corner. Fair enough, because the guy, it was the bleachers, the brush. But why hasn't he been given for diving? So corners played to the near post and put out for another corner. But why is that not? If he's gone down like that, then he's clearly trying to win a free kick. I'm
not sure. I thought he got clipped. I thought he ran over. I don't think it was accidental, but again, my stream isn't particularly grand this afternoon, but I thought he maybe clipped Antonio's foot. There was certainly no intent from Antonio, but Hammers have another corner anyway.
Yeah. Cresswell plays it across, balls to the edge of the box to Bowen. Oh, that was travelling. Another 2 shots. There, one from Bowen. Not sure who came in from the left, but both blocked. Some rather heavy defending going on there. Johnson plays Antonio down the right. Antonio, lovely ball down to Johnson. Cross comes across at the back post. Fornals. Tries to curl it in at the far post, but it's very wide. I think we'll see that from behind. It'll be. Let's have a look. Trying to curl it in at the far post, but no curl at all on it. And well played to the Everton supporter, the gentleman in the crowd who headed it away. Well played, sir. Top man.
It was a superb header as well, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
I bet his ears are ringing as we speak.
People doing all this, don't you? Yeah. So, top man.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised, being where they are, that someone didn't jump in the way of it and put their face in the way and would be completing a compensation claim as we speak. Anyway, 40 minutes gone. Everton nil, West Ham United nil. Approaching half time. Rio, are we happy with what we've seen so far?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we absolutely dominated the opening segment of the game. As we said, it's like a training game. Obviously, Everton are going to react and come into the game a little bit more. They've been asking a few questions, but all the key chances have come our way. It's only their final ball into the box that's really let us down. So, I can't criticise anything at the moment. A couple of interesting comments on the forum, though.
Yes.
Noam said that on the Everton forum, they mentioned that Souček is one of our best players.
Was he getting pelters?
Yeah. Not pelters exactly, but Belladino and Il Martello have put Souček and Antonio have been absolutely terrible. Martello has put Souček didn't be offside for that goal disallowed there. The Everton defenders didn't need to react, didn't react at all. If he'd have stayed on the side, he would have got away with it. So yeah, it's interesting how contrasting supporters see different aspects of the game, isn't it? You know,
It is.
Souček coming for criticism from our lot and high praise indeed from Everton.
Everton have got a corner on our right, their left. Long ball played across, and Bowen was there. I'm not quite sure that was creeping up behind him, but Bowen played safety first and headed it clear, giving Johnson a hand because Johnson was nowhere near clearing it. So anyway, corner. Let Everton side now. Played across down throat Fabianski though. Who rolls the ball out to. Right now, this could be good. Fornals has been clipped there, but he plays to Antonio. Good positive break move there, but Antonio sort of saw the bright lights, if you like, from about 20 yards, and again another road Z job where I think you had Bowen outside him on the right, which might have been interesting to play it. Yeah, screaming for it.
I'm not sure who's had. I mean, we probably could have a competition for the worst shot of the first half. I guess the leading contenders are Ben Rama, Decore, and Antonio at the moment. They're all pretty much of muchness, aren't they? They're all horrendously over the top.
There, though. It's a good throw out.
Yeah,
straight down the middle.
Stuff.
So,
just touching on Twitter quickly, just to see what some Hammers fans are saying, and someone that we know very well on Knees Up Mother Brown, of course, the former host of our podcast, Bianca Westwood, saying in reference to the booking for Antonio after 9 minutes, B saying, what sort of yellow card decision is that? Antonio was running at pace, dodged a half challenge and fell over. How is that a dive, please? Yeah, I think that frustration felt by many on the stream and posting on
Fornals just giving away another free kick. Again, not much of a challenge sort of thing, but just try to put his foot in there, and play went over it rather than anything else. So free kick, right hand side, about 10 yards outside the box. Everyone's lined up there. It's Gray and Townsend looking at it. Ball played in, and that's just headed clear. Still not totally clear. Townsend out wide, out on the right wing, and best thing to get out of that is a throw in. So he's quite happy with that.
Interestingly, just touching briefly, if I may, on the Souček debate, Jack Elderton, who of course is 1/3 of the new KUMB podcast team, and of course touched on the new dynamic between Souček and Rice this season, says Souček has been having an absolute stormer so far. So there you go. Someone else adding their weight to the Souček debate, but at least a West Ham fan who's relatively pleased with what he's seen from our Czech midfielder so far. We're in the final minute of the first half. Still Everton 0, West Ham United 0, but Everton bursting into the box. It's a good defensive work from Kurt Zouma, putting his body on the line and getting in when looks like Coleman was about to pull the trigger there. No.
Yeah, it's a good little move from Everton there. Gray, a bit lucky there, just went the right way for him. And Coleman was looking interested, but Zouma just got in there, and he's hobbling a little bit, but it's one of those, it'll be all right before you're 21 ones, as my mum always used to tell me. So, corner to Everton, their right-hand side. So, and as we go into stoppage time, shouldn't be an awful lot of it. 1 minute. Corner comes across, and that Zouma clears, and it's back in the Everton half now. Coleman launches it. That's just going to go harmlessly out for a goal kick. There you go. So, we've got statutory 1 minute that referees add to, so that suggests that they've been paying attention. Where you watch games on the continent, this would have been full-time whistle at 45 minutes, because they say there's nothing worth adding on. But they always add on at least 1 minute, because I think they feel they ought to.
Yeah, it's there really hasn't been any stoppages at all, have there, in that first half? I suppose, apart from the ball boys having to retrieve the ball from the back of the stand on 2 or 3 occasions, but
Yeah, true.
no goals yet so
nowadays,
far.
yeah, nowadays they normally have a spare ball, and there's your half-time whistle anyway. Not a classic, but we've bossed large bits of it. But cutting edge, final ball, cutting edge. Make your own cliched report up from those words.
Yeah, there you go. Half time, Everton 0, West Ham United 0. And now we've got to find something to talk about from that in the next 20 minutes, which should be interesting because Rio, there weren't an awful lot of highlights, were there? I suppose we could start by talking about West Ham's excellent opening 15-20 minutes. We all saw the stats that suggested West Ham had 80% plus of possession for the first period of the half. Didn't really make anything of it, but Everton kind of found their way back into it, didn't they, at the end? And, I think it's fair to say neither goalkeepers had a save to make. I guess we had the Fabianski one, didn't we, where it was more of a cross, though, wasn't it, really, where he sort of stretched to push it away. Did Pickford make a save as well? I think he might have done. But anyway, there's not been an awful lot to talk about, is there? So what do you make of that first 45? What's your summary? What do you take from it?
When you go to the ground like Goodison, you're not going to be disappointed going into the breakup level on level terms. The first 15 minutes, we absolutely battered them. We were playing some excellent football, as Noam pointed out. Just that final delivery just wasn't executed in the way we would like to. But as mentioned, it's like a attack v defence kind of training drill.
Yeah.
In a way that we went approach things and regrouped, went back again and went back again. But obviously, Everton are going to regroup. They're going to get back into the game. They're a top 6 side with on the up under a new manager, eager to impress, eager to push the assertiveness forward. And decent results lately. So it was always natural they're going to come into the game. We couldn't keep that pace going completely for the rest of that half. We had to kind of take a breather at some point.
Mm-hmm.
As we said, the only disappointing thing, we didn't convert our authority into a goal. But that's been the West Ham way for a long, long time. Things will never change. A couple of comments from the forum has also kind of backed that up. I hate Roder's put. This won't be the first time that we've dominated but not scored. Then with poor defending, we concede an easy goal. And that's my worry, that we've got not a massive change in the back four, but it's enough to kind of alter the dynamics that this tight-knit group of players have been used to. Will Everton try and come out and exploit that? Andros Townsend, will he swap wings? Because he's predominantly a one-footed player. Iwobi was having a shocker on the other side. Will they put Townsend onto the left-hand side to try and dominate Ben Johnson a little bit more and try and exploit that kind of weakness? It's something we've got to worry about. But overall, the first 45 minutes, we've been much the better side. We've played a better football.
Yeah.
All we're lacking is that goal because the final ball's been awful. When we have had a shot at goal, Antonio, as Noam said, he saw the bright lights, but he didn't see the rock in his yearbook. Look at these stats. He's never scored outside the box. That's the one thing he should be looking at. Do not shoot from 25 yards or so at Mikel, because that was a shocking decision and an awful effort.
Yeah.
Bornells has put one wide. Ben Ryan has put one into the Gladys Street. Well, I don't think it was in the Gladys Street end, was it? It's like Nurse Gladys Emmanuel in, but that's the stand behind it.
I think it was near Anfield, to be fair.
Now, the final ball and the actual delivery, like the attempts and goal, when we have got the chances, like a clear cut, have been lacking. But we're playing some great football. We're not getting too suspect at the back yet. But, Rafa Benitez is going to get in them, like the Everton side indoors at half-time, talk through it, and he's going to come up with a plan to try and exploit any weakness that we do have. And they've got options on the bench to come on and make things a bit awkward for us.
Yep.
We've got a lot of kids on the bench. And I think that's where the key decisions and the outcome of this game will be decided, how we utilise the substitutions.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Rio. Some match stats for you at half-time. before we move over to Noam for his thoughts and also the thoughts of the Everton fans posting on Grand Old Team, which Gordon is keeping an eye on for us. Possession in that first half, Everton 31%, West Ham 69%, and I can't remember West Ham ever having as much possession as that in the first half of a Premier League match, especially an away game. Shots, Everton 5, 1 on target, West Ham 7, 1 on target, 2 corners each. Everton committing 2 fouls, West Ham United 3. Noam, your thoughts on the opening 45 minutes? Any highlights for you?
Yeah, not been a classic, has it? But I thought we were
fair to say.
Palpably the better team for the first 20, 25 minutes. Everton, I think they've had sort of sporadic little periods every now and then. Whereas it's kind of when we've been taking a few minutes off, they're just replaying the goal or the goal that wasn't a save. Excellent save from Pickford, and it'd have felt gutted had that stood because you do all that, you pull off the save that good, only for the first player to react to be Souček. You're going to be well gutted.
Just on that point, actually, no. If we can just stick with that for a second.
Yeah.
Souček, and now I don't think he's offside, is he, when he makes the first touch? So we're assuming that the goal would have stood if it had gone in, but if Pickford hadn't saved it.
He's in an offside position at the time. Sorry, how about the shot? Was that Fornells or the shot from the middle that was saved?
The shot was Bowen, I think, wasn't it?
From the middle. Whoever it was, when that shot was taken, he was a foot offside. Now, had that gone straight in, that goal would have stood because he wasn't in the goalkeeper's eye line. He was well outside, and it would have had no effect on the ball going in. However, the second that it comes to and he goes to kick it, then the earlier offside from when the shot's taken, it becomes offside at that point. It becomes interfering because he's gained an advantage from being in that position.
Yeah.
So, before I move on to Grand Old Team, which quick thing on the YouTube feed, just thought I'd mention the guy if he's watching. Bumped into last week before we played Brentford, rather. Chap came and came up to me out of the blue and took greeting me like a long lost friend, and much to my confusion because I'd never met the chap before. But I think he said his name was Nick Roberts, who watches the YouTube channel recently without actually signing in to comment.
Okay.
There are technical reasons for that. I don't think he's had a lousy couple of years one way or another, and he was saying that the YouTube commentaries was something that was kind of keeping him going, poor soul. So hope you're well, Nick, and keep your chin up. So I thought I'd say hello to him on
Nick,
that.
all the best from all of us.
Yeah. So let's move on to Grand Old Team.
Yes.
As you could probably tell from the tenor of what I was saying earlier on, it's a couple of things really. Iwobi's obviously been high on their hit list, but Rondon is also getting some grief. One of the more considered approaches here. Rondon is so poor, don't see the point in signing him on a 2-year deal when we've got youngsters that offer more.
Yeah.
And has there ever been a worse player than Iwobi? He's stealing a living. Unfortunately, that's 50% of our attackers. We can't expect Townsend and Gray to deliver every game. What have we got on the bench? Somebody's suggesting they take Rondon off, put Davies on and move Decore out with Gray moving over to the centre. They're clearly not happy with the tactically. He isn't apparently good enough to make the tea at half time.
Okay, he's really coming in for some stick, isn't he? He's
not having a great game. You're having a poor game, and then obviously he doesn't get to see this, but all that, and then you can just imagine it. Half time, you're having a bad game, son. Make the tea for everybody. thank the Lord for Pickford, Coleman, Gray, and Townsend. Keane and Rondon, don't get me started. And Iwobi, I want to pull his hair.
Okay.
Oh yeah, come on RB, which obviously you normally see RB. It means right back because obviously Rafa Benitez in this case.
Yes.
You can't play every game without any semblance of control. It eventually hurt you, and it needs addressing in January because even with our injured players to come back, they don't have that control. So yeah, not particularly happy Toffee men at the moment.
Okay.
But again, I mean, we said they've won all three at home, but as I say, it's been Southampton, Burnley, and Norwich who. I think Percy put it, the fixture list has been fairly kind to them at home to start off with, but I guess you've got to win them. But
yeah, no, that's it. I mean, I suppose ideally you'd take those, wouldn't you, if you could? But anyway, thank you. A view of the Everton fan base.
Whatever stage of the season, you take those three in a row, wouldn't you?
Well, I guess, yeah. No, to be fair, yeah, it's good to start, good to finish, and good to have them in the middle, I suppose. But all the time. But Rio, what's the consensus from our fellow Hammers fans on what they've seen in that opening 45 minutes? Rio, of course, keeping an eye on the KUMB.com forum match thread for us this afternoon.
The overriding kind of thoughts are that not converting those chances is going to come back and bite us on the backside because it's just what we do, isn't it? A couple of observations. Mr. Subrake has put, we play so much better with Declan Rice in the holding role. Simon Hammer's put, Atwell books Antonio for diving. Atwell doesn't book Godfrey for diving. A dive is a dive, regardless of who does it or wherever it is on the pitch. We can see how this one's going to end up. Just trying to find it. As I say, Bubbles Fortuna's put our prolificacy in front of goal is going to cost us again. Lots of games this season we should be scoring more from. Our potency in set pieces this season has been absolutely abysmal. Palace, Southampton, Man United, Brentford, Everton, only 2 goals from those games, despite huge periods of play where we absolutely dominated. Hammer Hornchurch's put, we control midfield, but the front four have been absolutely poor, 5 out of 10 level. They've got to take at least one of those chances. I'd give Vlasic a half for Fornells, who's on a yellow, which Shadwell Chief is also backed up. Vlasic for Fornells on quite early.
Okay.
That's now the next overriding kind of opinion. Who our butlers put. Fornell's not to his usual standards. Rightly or wrongly, he's walking a tightrope for sending off.
Has he played badly, Rio, Fornells? I mean, I can't say he's stood out to me as say Iwobi might have done to the Everton fans. I mean, or is he just one of those players who's got his fans and those who don't see what he brings to the team and they're ready to leap on any sort of
I actually thought he'd won the fans over, and I think for the most part he has. Yeah. I think the problem today is that he hasn't shone. He's been very effective and very tidy in his passing today.
Yeah.
But one loose tackle has kind of like almost negated him. And like people are now, I think he's the obvious target, isn't he?
Yeah.
When something goes awry and he's walking a tightrope with a yellow card, do people fear that he's going to dive in, do something a little bit silly? There's a couple of comments that little challenge towards the end of the first half where he went in the back of the knee, the Everton forwards. He was unlucky not to be sent off, which I thought was absolute nonsense myself. But if Pablo Fornells gives everything for the team, he's got all the ability in the world. The only thing he's done wrong today is get booked. And it was a bit reckless, a bit silly, but it wasn't malicious. It wasn't going out seeking to damage the player.
No.
He just stretching for a loose ball and didn't make contact. But as someone else put on here, did he actually make contact with a man? He looked like he just stretched, and I think the Everton forward just saw it was coming and went down easily.
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely seemed to be a bit of that, didn't there? But let's just talk briefly about, I mean, it's a shame really that the two main talking points of the half really are the 2 yellow cards, but here we are anyway. But let's just go back briefly to that first one. I mean, the players are just coming back out onto the pitch now. 9 minutes gone, Noam, and Antonio really, he's he's in trouble, isn't he? Then for the next 80 minutes, so just one bad tackle away from a second dismissal of the season. Have you changed your mind at all over what you saw there? And you still maintain it was a dreadful booking?
I don't think it was I don't think it was I don't think it was a booking. Simple as that, really.
Okay.
A little bit of contact, but I just want to see. I want to see Salah book next time he does it. I want to see.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. I know. Yeah. So I've just been. If this is hypnotic, on the grand old team thing, there was a question somebody asked: "Is can Solomon jump? Rondon actually jump?" And somebody says yes if he's on a trampoline, and they've got this little clip, which is clearly obviously fake, but it's spectacularly good, of an elephant on a trampoline jumping up and down. It's one of the best things I've ever seen, I think, on the internet.
Well, there you go. That's the highlight of what we've seen today in the last hour or so. So hopefully the second half is underway. Hopefully things are going to pick up a little bit now. But
anyway, in the second.
Rio, you and I were going for West Ham defeats this afternoon. And do we need to change our predictions at this stage?
If I go positive, which I should be going positive, it's going to jinx it even more. So now we're going to lose 7-0.
Right. Okay. Good stuff. Just a reminder, Rio predicted a 2-1 win for Everton. I predicted a 3-1 win for Everton. Noam going for a 2-2 draw, and Jeff, Noam's brother, who's joining us on the stream this afternoon, nodding his head saying, "You're all wrong. It's going to be a West Ham win. The Hammers to win 2-1. So let's hope you're right, Jeff. Still a long way to go. Come on, you Irons. Come on, you Irons. West Ham kicking this half from right to left. And starting the second half, Naomi, much the same way we started the first, in possession of the football, and which we've just promptly given away, of course, as I speak.
Yeah. Now we said that Damari Gray got down our left-hand side, played a dangerous cross across the face of the goal. Nobody nearly in a fast enough a position for Everton to do anything about it. I mean, that's gone across the 6-yard box, and there's nobody within a yard of the 6-yard box. They come running in about a minute later. Sorry, I've got to change this screen because that's better. Watching this elephant go up and down, it's just.
To be fair, I'm talking of elephants. It was in fact Rondon. I think it was the nearest player. Everton's number 33. But as you say, I mean that's meat and drink to a striker. It's a fantastic delivery. You've
got to take a chance on those. You throw yourself in the box, and either it gets hit too hard for you or whatever. But you're not going to convert that from 2 yards outside.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here with Everton and what changes Rafa Benitez makes. I mean, obviously highly thought of by the Everton fans, not quite as highly thought of by the Everton fans as by the Newcastle fans, I think it's fair to say. But we're seeing Everton trying to break again now, but West Ham snuffing out the danger, and Cresswell playing the ball all the way back to Lucas Fabianski. But I mean, Rio, and it's only a couple of minutes already, so it's hard to really sort of tell at this stage. But Everton look a little bit brighter already this half than perhaps they did in the first.
Yeah, they couldn't be anything other, could they? We absolutely battered them. I didn't actually show up for the first 15 minutes.
True.
And also, obviously, got a rocket at half time. That first 15 minutes for them was completely unacceptable. So it's no surprise that they've come out with a kind of different mindset in this second period. As we say that, West Ham are just knocking the ball about quite easily, quite comfortably, trying to take the sting out of that sustained 25-second possession that Everton had. And I think we've weathered the storm there.
3 minutes into the second half, it is Everton 0, West Ham United 0. We are waiting for our first goal from Goodison Park. No shots on target, I think, in the entire first half from either side. So we're looking for a little bit of a brighter second half.
For a second.
Yes, of course.
Sorry.
No,
right. Sorry, I'm back. My parents have this thing on Sky Plus to record every Bond movie ever going and every episode of Would I Lie to You?
Right.
And as a result of this, I had to cancel So you're going to have to watch The Spy Who Loved Me on any one of the other 100 occasions it's going to be on in the next 2 months, rather than recording it. So,
I mean, you can't even go down the video shop and rent it these days, can you?
No.
You know.
What's that old joke? Isn't it? The telly went wrong the other day, so I had to talk to the wife. I was surprised to find out she no longer works in Blockbusters. Everton on the attack down our left now. Yes. That's a good cross in. Oh, Iwobi actually didn't air shot this one. Got a good turn in. He had all the space in the world to turn. Ogbonna put in a useful block. Corner to
terrific.
Everton.
Great work
good
from
back,
Ogbonna. But probably the most dangerous Everton have looked in the entire game so far, really.
Yeah, that's but for the grace of Ogbonna, I think. Corner comes across, it's played out to the edge, actually way outside the box now, and it's now back to Everton on the halfway line, and it's now back to Pickford. That's an interesting corner. I don't think that quite went to plan. Pickford's now found touch, so throw into West Ham. Odd corner, that one.
Very odd, very unusual. But 5 minutes gone. No goals in the second half, no goals in the first half. Everton with their first. Does that count as a shot on target or block shots? I don't think they do they technically for the stats?
No, I think if it's on target. I think if it's on target, it counts. If it hits the post, it's off target.
I mean, we had a couple of those, didn't we? I think Bowen had one, didn't he, that was blocked in the first half. Fornells possibly as well, but still. Oh no, actually, I'm just looking at the stats and it's saying one shot on target each, so maybe they did register. But anyway, we'll worry about that. We'll let the statisticians worry about that. We've got an Arsenal fan on the live chat joining us, saying Iwobi still plays lol. So clearly someone else is not exactly enamoured with the qualities of our of your former school chum.
Well, no, I mean, I left that school well before he was probably born, I suspect. I was only there a couple of years because it was when my dad's job moved down here. No, that was dangerous.
Great ball in.
Played in.
It's a great ball in.
Yeah, one of those ones that if somebody doesn't get anything on, it could still go in. You know, Rondon trying to get something on it, I think.
Yeah, it's Townsend with the cross, isn't it? Rondon
Rondon did actually get a flick on.
Yeah, just beating to the ball.
Up West Ham. No, out of the way of the screen. Sorry, domestic stuff going on here. Yes, West Ham haven't really sort of settled this half yet, like they did in the first, but spell of possession now with Fornells out left. Looking for help, plays inside. Again, not an awful lot ahead of Rice, so it's going backwards across.
I mean, whatever. I'm just going to say, sorry, no, I was going to say whatever did change at halftime appears to have benefited our host to some degree because they've been a lot more lively, possibly in the opening 5 minutes of the half, Rio, than they were in the entire first half. A couple of decent chances, certainly that last one for Rondon, which was inches wide, really.
Yeah, absolutely. But they always had to kind of react. But that, as we said, that opening 15 minutes was completely unacceptable from home side.
Yeah.
As much as they grew into the first half a little bit, the whole performance was not befitting the top six side. So it's only natural there's going to come at us.
Yeah. Corner to West Ham, very strange corner to give away. I thought we just put it out for a throw in, but he then had another touch and it went out for a corner. So not that our stats on these have been great. Corner coming from Bowen. And Soucek was at the back post, and Pickford basically palmed out for another corner. So let's have a look. So, Pickford had to do something there.
Yeah,
Soucek was definitely coming around the back. Now we've got Cresswell and Fornells on this. I'm not a fan of short corners, but let's see what actually happens.
Yeah, not something that you see or associate with West Ham, is it? Really? Short corner.
I think Cresswell actually might be taking it long, but it's two players stood out there. So no, Fornals. It's all was a shot. It was played short from Fornals to Cresswell, who pulled it back to the edge of the box to Ben Rama, whose shot was straight at Pickford. And but it was a shot and it was on target. Everton cleared long, and Johnson comes across, clears out for a throw into Everton. So tried to catch us on the long ball on the break, but Johnson did well there. So.
Rio, can you remember the last time West Ham took a short corner like that? I mean, we generally swing them into the box, don't we?
Yeah, actually, I think it was the last home game against Brentford, wasn't it?
Okay.
I know where we've been not as prolific in the last couple of months from set pieces. They've been trying to alter the dynamics a little. It's something I'm not a fan of, and also. Yeah. As we saw in the first half, we had the same combination of Fornals and Cresswell both standing over the ball to take the corner.
Yeah.
Cresswell swung it in. So that leaves Fornals just out there doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
He could be sitting at the edge of the box waiting to pick up a ball.
By Antonio here. Ball was played up from the back. Antonio held it really well, played nice ball into Ben Rama, who manoeuvred the room for a shot, but it got blocked. But good little bit of play, particularly from Antonio there. Did very well holding it up and laying it off.
Yeah, much more lively start to this half. And it's certainly, both teams having opportunities, really. Certainly going for that opening goal. We're still waiting for it, of course, 56 minutes in. West Ham have a corner. Just won a corner, the ball coming off Coleman, I think it was. While we're waiting for that, quick look at what West Ham do have on the bench. It's a bit early yet to be talking about substitutions, but very quickly, Areola, Baptiste, Dawson, Diop, Masuaku, all defensive options. Harrison Ashby, of course, the Scottish under-21 international right back in the squad today. Up front, Lanzini, Vlasic and Yarmolenko really the only options, but some good ones there maybe for Moyes if we need them. But anyway, West Ham have a corner home, and let's hope we can do something with this one.
Everton have got a break on here. It's Townsend's down the right-hand side, plays it in, but guess who's there to block it? Declan Rice.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well played, Deckers.
Oh, now Antonio's won the ball here. And Everton rather desperately whack it out for a throw-in, but it's the same. A little bit of potential there, but Antonio making a nuisance of himself. And he's sporting the one leg rolled up look on his shorts again today. So.
The Alex Song look. I think they used to call that. I remember we asked Alex Song once why we did that, and I can't for the life of me think what his explanation was now. But he used to do that, didn't he? He used to play with his shorts rolled up for some reason. But anyway, we're approaching the hour mark. Still waiting for our first goal. Everton 0, West Ham United 0, Rio. But the Hammers looking a little bit more lively now.
Yeah, Cresswell just got down to the byline, got a cross in, but it wasn't the greatest of crosses, easily cleared. And back with Ogbonna now. We're going to move forward again and look for the pass. So it's one of these ones where it's a little bit like the bit of the Swansea game we were watching earlier on, where there's a bit of playing around the back, which infuriates my dad no end.
Yeah.
Not listening.
I'm surprised that the travelling fans aren't singing "We Play on the Floor" at this stage, but we it's good. Bit of possession for West Ham. Just wonder actually if West Ham. Have a quick look at the stats to see if West Ham are still ahead in terms of possession. I mean, it was 69, wasn't it? I think in the first half, down to 66 now. So Everton have seen a bit more of the ball in the second half, but not an awful lot more. West Ham dominating proceedings really without threatening Jordan Pickford's goal so far. But just seen a Cresswell go down, and I think that was a bit of a late one. Not sure there's anything wrong with that. Cresswell seems to be okay. And West Ham
picked himself up, isn't he? He's all right. Yeah. No rolling around or anything. Get up.
No histrionics from the Hammers, but Rio, West Ham now beginning to sort of get a bit of a foothold once again in the game as we did in the first half, really.
Yeah, we coming back into it a little bit more. There's a little bit of anxiety on the forum, though. Wolf 359 again. That can save us from conceding a definite goal there. A little bit of concern about Ben Johnson as well. Someone put in that maybe he's not cut out for the top level. Always looks, I know he's young, but he looks so far off the pace at times. His position and decision making is a little bit erratic. And will he ever learn, basically?
I wonder what that's in reference to. Or just
I don't
general
know.
play.
It's IMN 83. I've not seen anything really stand out in terms of deficiencies in his game today. I thought he's had quite a reasonable opening hour. So
I think it's an easy one, isn't it, to throw in because he's not a first choice player. I think unless he's looking outstanding and West Ham aren't winning, it's an easy accusation to make. I perhaps wonder if it's one of those. But I mean, I certainly haven't seen anything he's done wrong. I think he's looked quite lively so far, and we're still keeping a clean sheet, aren't we? So must be doing something right.
But also, Chadwell Chief, does Mikel Antonio actually possess a brain?
Okay.
I think that's in reference to the fact that he does seem to pick the ball up, run with it, beat 2 or 3 players, and his decision making, as I think we saw against Leeds, the first 60 minutes of that game, his decision making was completely awry.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until obviously that last minute goal was absolute wonder, but he did look a bit off kilter at times, and he's done exactly the same again today. When he gets the ball, he runs with purpose, but his final decision making is back to the Mikel Antonio we've seen over the years, and not one of the league's leading scorers with a little bit of sharpness in front of goal.
Yeah,
his awareness isn't at the level we require it today.
Yeah, I think he's looked a little bit frustrated in the last few games. I don't know why that may be, but obviously it sort of started with the sending off, I think, against Southampton. But I don't know. I mean, the thing is, of course, if he can still pop up and score a goal in the 89th minute, all of that's forgiven, isn't it? That's the benefit of being a striker, I suppose, is that it just takes one moment of magic, and everything you did wrong prior to that is instantly forgotten. But we are just over an hour in, 61 minutes gone. The TV folks are obviously expecting a substitution soon, because we've just seen a few shots of the benches, respective benches. We've just seen Everton break on the left-hand side. Just stop there for a moment. The ball cut out by Angelo Bonner, who's screaming at his midfield in front of him for a corner. So
Rondon got between the gaps there far too easily.
Yeah, no, let's back to you for the corner.
Yeah, taken short, play back to the taker. Ball now swung in, and 3 Everton players managed to foul each other, I think, or put each other off. Still got the ball. Cross comes in from the right, again cleared, and Antonio tried to wallop it clear, and now second attempt managed to do so. Now 3 Everton players, and they all got in each other's way there as a ball play at the end of the box. Everton now looking, that's a good ball in. But that's it. No, it won't be. It's just that. Not sure that's a cross or a shot, but it was one of those ones where everyone goes ooh, but it was a lot wider than it turned into either a cross or a shot.
He really needed something to be attacking out the far post there.
Yeah,
that would have been I think a bit too much pace in it, but there had a couple of players on the left hand side. If one of them if the ball had been a little bit more delicate, they could have attacked that, and it would have been a certain goal, because we was exposed to the back there.
Look forward to seeing what the Everton fans make of that latest piece of passage of play involving.
We just had enough stat there.
But a couple of times, it's not the first time, is it, Rio, that we've seen that? Who was it? So there was that cross early, right at the start of the half, wasn't there, from the other side, that went across goal, and we were saying that Rondon was the nearest player, should have been a bit closer to the ball. But yeah, they're getting closer anyway. I guess Everton, we're looking at 25, 26, 27 minutes left to go. Still no sign of any substitutions from either manager yet. Richarlison, of course, on the bench for Everton. They do have 1 or 2 other strong players on there as well. Davis, of course, we spoke about Mina as well. 2 goalkeepers, of course. Everton suffering from the West Ham curse. Begovic and Tyra both on the bench. But West Ham, not an awful lot of attacking options. But we do have Lanzini, we do have Vlasic, potentially back to play against his former club. And of course, Yarmolenko, as we said right at the top of the show, has been banging form during the international break, scoring 2 goals in 2 games for the Ukraine. But it's still Everton 0, West Ham United 0. 64 minutes gone. West Ham in possession now, looking to build down the left-hand side. And West Ham winning a throw-in, no.
Yeah, throw-in deep in territory, and Cresswell's finally making his way up to take it. I'd say about 10 yards outside the box, thrown into Fornals. And Benrahma's turned his defender, who's got back, but still manages to get across there. Oh, now, Souček looked like he was going to get on the end of that. And one of those ones you never get a free kick for if it's in the box. But I think he was just giving a little bit of help on his way down, shall we say.
Yes, a bit of a Czech sandwich, that one.
Let's have a look. No, they just all missed it, that's all.
Yeah, nothing else. But I mean, as we were saying earlier, it's encouraging to see Souček getting into those positions now. Obviously, had the ball in the back of the net at the end of the first half there, with 10 minutes to go till half time, and getting close there, and of course at the back post for the corner a little while ago. So, good to see him up there again, and hopefully we can grab a goal to perhaps win this game. Are we sort of at that stage, chaps, where we're thinking that 1 goal is going to be enough to win it yet?
Absolutely.
Now that was a ball where Zuma elected to play that, and it looked like it might have been better to leave to run out or for Fabianski to collect. He's giving it back to Everton. Ball crossed deep, but that's meat and drink for Cresswell. Calmly chests it down for Fabianski, who's looking for it to give it quickly, but there's nobody showing for him. So eventually, after about 3 or 4 attempted bits of distribution,
it's like a hot potato, that football.
Yeah.
No one wanted the ball. Declan Rice, I think, wanted it initially, didn't he? But
yeah.
Anyway,
but I think his run was tracked. He's coming out, bringing the ball into the Everton half now. And Cresswell out there. Benrahma tries to play one to Cresswell. It's a poor return ball. But Benrahma's sticking to it. He's trying to win it back. Fair play, keep on him, don't settle. Well, done well to get out of there, but Benrahma made it difficult for him.
Yeah.
And in fact, we've won it back. Cresswell got a little touch on that, and that's inside. Fornals tried to turn the ball around the corner, and nobody made the run. As it happened, it wasn't a very good ball from Fornals, but so a little bit of taking his own frustration out when it's really probably his fault. Benrahma now, lovely ball inside. Oh, Antonio's shot is deflected, and that's a good block really, because that might have been going in. Again, Everton struggling to clear their lines, and it's an Everton throw. Cresswell's blocked that, but that's a nice bit of play from Benrahma there.
It's actually a nice bit. I think that was really good play, wasn't it? For a couple of minutes, West Ham really worked hard to win the possession back 3 or 4 times there, and good block. Michael Keane, I think it was, who provided the block there. But I think Michail Antonio would have been testing Pickford anyway had he not done so. So good stuff all round from the Hammers. We're just over 20 minutes left. Still no substitutions, but Rio, would you be thinking of making subs round about now if you're David Moyes, or just sitting on it and seeing what develops for the next 5-10 minutes or so?
I'd actually be making a look one myself now. I mean, I know there's a chat on the forum about Fornals being on a tightrope, but he hasn't been his usual cutting edge self today. So I'll be looking at Vlasic on for him, possibly. Apart from that, I wouldn't make any other major changes at the moment. Benrahma's coming in the game a little bit more and took him more purposeful.
Yeah.
Thomas Souček, I think, has had a really good game defensively as well, was getting into the attacking positions. He broke up play nice in that little move there to set up the initial segment of it. So, yeah, at the moment, just Vlasic for Fornals. It's very nearly approaching. Was it nearly? We didn't make a substitution holder last game. 70 minutes into this one. It's been a long time since David utilised that substitution board.
Yes.
Have we got spare batteries at all? Because I'm wondering, could that be the problem?
They left it at home, maybe. No, you're right. It's a good point. Moyes very averse to making those changes. Do you think perhaps, Rio, that the Europa League's got something to do with that, and trying to keep players fit for that? I mean, it's still only 20 minutes, isn't it? But
yeah, potentially. But surely the squad is there to be utilised.
Well, yeah, you think so.
And these players sitting on the bench, some are earning in excess of six figures a week, if rumours to believe. They're not being paid to sit on there and do nothing. Let's utilise them. Let's see what we got. It cost us against Brentford, in my opinion, because although we were coming to the game more, we needed freshening up. We needed a bit of fresh legs.
Yeah.
We're not quite at that moment. The tiredness is creeping in this game. But I just think we need a couple of people to be sharpened up, a little bit of fresh impetus, give the opposition something different to think about. So we've really got to kind of utilise what we have.
Yeah. West Ham currently heading to be last on Match of the Day tonight. Noam, what's your view on the substitution issue? Would you be looking to bring somebody on right now?
It's a difficult one because we're not losing, and we're actually. It's I guess your mindset is a point of good one to take from here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I mentioned Yarmolenko, for example, earlier on, and he said, well, he's scoring for fun for the Ukraine. But if he comes on now, he's got 20 minutes to try and get pace to the game, which he's always struggled with. And I just wondering what Pickford was doing there. I know he's good at finding touch, but he's playing straight. But Antonio's down on his haunches.
Yeah, that's a little bit concerning, that, isn't it? We've just seen him. He hasn't moved, and since initially going down, he's not really moved. And as we all know, that's more concerning than watching a player roll around pretending he's hurt.
See, now he's had his foot stamped on there. That's a bit naughty, and one can only presume the referee didn't actually see that. But it's, I mean, given the sort of how thin boots are these days, proper boots, but actually were made of leather, still quite thin. And so if somebody stamps on you, you feel it. Looks like he's all right, though. Doesn't seem to be anything broken. It's been led over to the side, so he'll be back on as Moyes gives Rice some more instructions.
I guess it's one of those, isn't it? We see Antonio go down and you see him clutch anything but his thigh, and you think, thank Christ for that, he's all right.
Yeah, it's not his hamstring. Yeah,
it's not his hamstring. Apologies for the blasphemy there, by the way, but we're into the last 18 minutes or so. Still waiting for our first goal from Goodison Park. Everton 0, West Ham United 0. Manuel Lanzini taking a little saunter up the line there, a potential replacement maybe. But I think that's a really good point that No makes there, isn't it, Rio? That it's 0-0. We've been in pretty much control of the ball for the last 5 minutes or so. No real reason to change anything. Nothing sort of amiss. And I guess with Moyes' reluctance to make those changes, it sort of points to maybe staying as it is for the foreseeable anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely more than valid point there. As I say, that Everton just get a little chance. Rondon with a header which kind of flicked the towards goal, had no real pace in it, so it didn't really trouble Fabianski, but a bit of an easy cross to get in there. Townsend got in.
What about that one was the fact that Ogbonna had been dragged out to the left back position. What's happened there? What's that? I think that's going to be a corner, is it? Yeah. Bowen got a shot in, it got deflected up, and Antonio challenged for it with Pickford as it came down. Pickford didn't really deal with it that well. Yeah, it was flicked up by a defender. And Antonio, I think it probably is a goal kick. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it's a goal kick, really, but they've given the corner. Tough. But it's one of those ones we often see fouls given because there's a forward challenging. Corner comes in, and it's in!
Come on!
Oh!
I'm trying to figure, It is Ogbonna. Ogbonna's done it. The ball delivered to the near post. I mean, and Noam, you said it. It's one of those that look like a goal kick. It's that little bit of luck that you know you need to go your way, and it's certainly come West Ham's way there. Corner floated in or drilled in fact, to the near post. Ogbonna rising above everyone else, getting the flick on. 73 minutes and 30 seconds gone. It's Everton 0, West Ham United 1. Wonderful,
Well,
Rio. What about that?
We've scored from a corner. That hasn't happened.
Hey, of course. Hey.
That was a fantastic delivery in. Ogbonna's got, I think it's in front of Godfrey. Good connection. Great, absolute great goal. Pickford was nowhere for that. I don't know if he does an incredibly good Mr. Angry, Jordan Pickford. When things go awry for him, he does that flappy thing and the old 1980s Wall Street haircut, flicks up in the air and he gets angry. He does it brilliantly. And I don't know if he was affected by this decision to give a corner on the goal kick, but he was absolutely nowhere. But what a great header. What a great corner.
West Ham have the lead. 15 minutes left to go. On course now for what could be another famous victory on Merseyside. They don't come around that frequently, but West Ham again looking to push on its side. Ben Rama with the shot that's blocked on this occasion. But West Ham, I mean, Everton at 6s and 7s at the moment. West Ham looking to capitalise. As I say that, Everton win possession back and break down the left-hand side now.
Yeah, I'll come back to the goal in a second.
Yeah.
But Everton moved, broke down, got it back. They're coming down now our right-hand side. Interesting ball played into the box. That's Rondon finds Townsend, gets the cross in, but it's blocked. I have to say that was a shocking decision, I think, to give the corner. And now is that Souček down?
Yeah,
he's
Souček.
having some treatment to his face, so I don't quite know what's happened. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe we'll see it now.
It looks.
I think that's accidental, but he's got a boot header. It's behind him. I know it's deliberate. You can't blame the lad for that, but
I don't know.
Yeah. That angle makes it look worse. I don't think he knew where he was. It's one of those ones, but no, I think it's a shocking decision to give the corner. I think that was goal kick all the way. Not complaining. I mean, it happens against us more often than it happens for us, but Everton will be spitting feathers. I think I'm going to have a quick look at somebody's just said, I think I'll go and do the washing up. Game over. There's enough time to get something out of this, but we need to change things. And then there's just a whole blank thing that says underneath it says poor language removed, and that's it. That's all it says.
Yes, you can imagine a little bit of frustration, but I mean, we're saying there, no, it's those little things that go your way that can change games, isn't it? We all felt that it was a goal kick. It shouldn't have been a corner, but corner given, of course, the goal coming from it. Everton, of course, Everton have their own corner now. Nothing's really come of it so far. They're still in possession of the ball. I'm looking to send the ball over, and it's blocked for an Everton throw. But yeah, I mean, one of those bits of luck, Noam, isn't it? That you kind of need, but you say that West Ham still got in that position to get that bit of luck. So I guess the old adage about you make your own luck comes into play to some degree.
But, I mean, it was sort of Everton played the ball in, and Fabianski sort of come straight out. As an Everton player said, like West Ham put Pickford under pressure, get a corner. Our forwards just admire Fabianski's handling, which is a fair point. Sorry, a little shove there on Cresswell, but he's done well to get back, and he's been fouled left, right, and centre there. Cresswell invites the linesman to join in, but nothing given. I
think we're currently down to 10 men as Souček's receiving attention in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
a little bit of a difficult spell for West Ham to ride here as we approach the last 10 minutes. Of course, West Ham if we were to win this one, it would be a second win at Goodison Park in a calendar year, which is something that probably hasn't happened too often before. Thomas Souček scoring the only goal of the game at Goodison Park back in January on the first on New Year's Day in the 86th minute. But changes afoot anyway. No, Everton,
yes.
Rafa Benitez deciding to go for it now.
Yeah, and there'll be the grand old team thread will be saying at last. And in fact, we've both made changes. Iwobi's come off and Gordon's come on. Souček's not going to come back out, and Dawson's been brought on in his place. So we're going to 3 at the back there in the centre now. And Gordon got the ball at the byline, but his pullback was poor, and it's dealt with comfortably. So that's we've got 10 minutes. We've got 3 points. We've got to try and keep hold of them, I think, is the message that sends. With okay, the substitution was enforced, but I think there are other options to bring on for midfield. Yeah.
As it stands, young Jeff, the only one whose prediction is looking likely to come true, which is good stuff.
Ball played down. Can Antonio keep it in? Yes. Done well there. He did well to keep it, and then lost the ball. Then got it back. Then lost the ball, and he's gone down now. And Everton supporters are screaming for another yellow. There's some good work.
I think that was more of a dive than the first one, wasn't it? No.
Yeah. Some great work from Bowen there to sort of stop the break on. I mean, they're coming forward now, but again, without actually sort of superb. It's Dawson's just put a foot in there. Without actually shining as such, Bowen's put in a hell of a lot of hard work, just running across and making it difficult for Everton to bring the ball out. So, pat on back for that.
Rio, what was your view on that incident involving Rondon and Souček? I mean, was it completely accidental as far as you're concerned, or was there something more to it?
It always looks worse when the television replays show it in like slow motion.
Yeah.
It did look quite nasty, and it did look to me that he flicked his foot back.
Yeah.
I think there could be a case. I'd like to analyse it a bit further after the game, but
yeah,
it did look nasty. It did look semi-deliberate to me, and it isn't good to see. As I say, with Everton just got a corner at the moment. Ball comes in, and it's somehow out to, I think it's Godfrey, and he made a bit of a hash of attempting to convert it. Thankfully, it's gone right over the ball. It's actually Golden. That's another thing we had to kind of mention. Everton are now playing with 2 of the 5 Thunderbirds in Allen and Golden at the moment. So,
the other one, Jeff.
That's a great shout. That's a great shout. But as it is, there's our set piece stack. Look, I nearly broke the microphone. I'm just so shocked to see it back. The most last season. We've not seen that stat for a while. West Ham, of course, I think that applied by about January, and we didn't score another one after that. But there it is again. West Ham finally profiting from a set piece as we hadn't done for a while. But we're just seeing Everton begin to pile on the pressure now as we approach the final few minutes of the game. No.
Well, we're actually breaking away now. We're looking dangerous.
Yep.
Ben Rama plays it outright to Bowen. Bowen's held up there, but he's nearly beat 3 players with one of the shoulder, but one managed to bring the ball away. But it's an interesting looking break. I think it might have been better to keep it over this side because Bowen was well marshalled. He had 3 players to deal with, but.
The consensus from the forum is that was absolutely deliberate by Rondon.
Doesn't cut a Western player, but it just stops anything developing.
Okay, good stuff. Just coming back to the challenge by. I mean, I just my view, looking at quickly, Rio, is that it didn't look.
Play Declan right
intended, but it was very. If it wasn't intended, why was he putting his foot back like that? But exactly, you're saying that people on the forum think it was deliberate.
Yeah, the universal consensus is that it's completely deliberate.
Okay.
Coops, how's that accidental? It did look unusual leg movement.
Yeah.
Rondon is very lucky he's still on their pitch. That should have been a red. Yeah, it's just absolute like wave after wave of post saying that is an absolute deliberate foul.
Okay. No, it would be good to see what the Everton fans think of that. If you get a moment to look at Grand Old Team and see if there's any reaction to that injury to Souček. But certainly, whether it was intended or not, it was enough to have Souček removed from the game. But anyway, we're approaching the last 6 minutes of normal time now. West Ham leading by a goal to nil here at Goodison Park, and Nome on the break again in possession, looking to frustrate the home side.
Sorry, mate, you're cutting out a little bit there. I'm not got the greatest of connections here.
Yeah, that's okay. Just saying that West Ham were in possession, and I think we've since then we've conceded possession. Everton are back on the ball now.
Yeah,
or maybe not.
Oh, right, okay.
Constantly fluctuating.
Yeah, no. We've got the ball now. Antonio's holds it up, and he's played it now. Rice is getting forward quite well here. Rice plays it outside to Cresswell. Cresswell now looking for the cross, gets the cross in. It's deep, but it's headed out for a corner for West Ham. Another corner, one of those things we never score from again. So I was applauding Declan Rice a minute ago because he put in an interception and the ball seemed to be going out, but he managed to get over the touchline and then he just lost the Everton player who was marking him, and it was just class bit of play. It just, as I say, is a different class. Corner for West Ham anyway, same side as the one we scored from. So I think Ogbonna might not get as clean a ride. Bowen plays it in. Oh, Zuma looked interested there. It's still in the box. It's like schoolboy. It's scramble playground football, and it's all. Ogbonna pokes it goal. It's gone out, I think, for another corner. That was just bonkers. It was like playground football.
Well, Ogbonna and Zuma are having a good chuckle about it anyway.
I was going to bring up something about that in a moment. Let's get the corner out of the way first.
All right. So a corner on the other side to the one that West Ham was scored from. We're approaching the end of 90 minutes. Gnomes, go to you if we can for this.
Anti-5 play, target 6. And it's Fornals and Cresswell on the ball again. Just seeing what we're going to do here. So Cresswell swings it out. Declan Rice.
Oh.
Is there a row double Z? Another substitution being made now. Lanzini on for Ben Rama. Yeah, not a bad little game, Ben Rama. Not as sort of dominant as he has been in past matches, but he's put in a shift and he's been played well.
No, I totally agree. I think
commentary started being criticised from the sidelines there as well, by the way. So,
all right.
Just enough with you lot doing it, but with me, mum and dad moaning at me as well.
Well, interestingly, if you get to watch this back on YouTube, you said about the connection not being too great. Your voice seems to be. It sounds like you've had a stroke. Actually, your voice is dragging quite a bit at certain times. It's as you probably say. I don't know if that's the connection issue, but it's not particularly good.
Yeah, it almost certainly is. It's the Wi-Fi connection and the internet isn't that great out here in Sticks, so something I might have to upgrade at some point.
You're telling me.
But I keep meaning to have a look at the router's probably older than I am. So
anyway, we are just 2 minutes away from the end of normal time. What are we thinking about added on time, Rio? I mean, we had that break for Souček, didn't we? But hasn't been an awful lot. What are we thinking? 3 or 4 minutes, maybe?
I would have said 3 at maximum. Like I said, there's not been a lot of stoppages.
Yeah.
A couple of substitutions now.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's been a pretty free-flowing game, apart from like 1 or 2 minor incidents. We're on the attack here. Antonio feeds it right to Bowen. Bowen cuts inside. What a save.
Save Pickford.
Yeah.
That's Everton possibly in the game there. It's good play from Fornals. Antonio held it up nicely, played in Bowen, cut back onto his left foot and fine save from Pickford. So another corner, but 2-0 very much dead and buried. But We're not hurrying to take this corner. It won't surprise you.
Kind of Brentford style corner.
In
some respects.
Played across, and it's cleared out, and it's all the way back with Zuma, who's now looking to. He's got Johnson there. Johnson plays it long into the box, but everyone's come out, and that's Pickford's grabbed it. So
just
Pickford's launched it long, and Cresswell needs to be a little bit careful out here. So everyone's back and.
Still waiting to find out how many minutes added on we've got, but of course we should point out once again.
I'd say 4. They'll add 3 for the Souček and then
so far.
1 for the substitutions.
But Everton, of course, let's not forget Everton 100% record at home going into today. 3 wins out of 3. It looks unlikely that they're going to make that 4 out of 4. Still not beyond them, of course, to get a very late equaliser, but nonetheless, it's good performances by West Ham so far, Rio.
Yeah, absolutely. What can you say? I've just seen a replay of that incident where we got the corner.
Yeah.
Pickford did get a touch.
Yeah, he does. He
gets
a glove on it. Yeah.
Hang on, Antonio in the box, but runs into traffic, and it's back with Pickford.
Yeah.
I've still not seen the additional minutes go up yet either.
No.
It's 4 minutes, as I said. Yeah, 3 for Souček, 1 for the sub. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd say it seems about right. Yeah. Unlike the Brentford game where they've taken a minute to take every goal kick, and we got an insulting 3.
It should still be going on there, the Brentford game. But by the way, the time wasting.
Well, I'll get on to that in a second. But,
yeah.
Shot blocked. Zuma's blocked a shot there, and they played it out for a goal kick. A little bit panicky there. I was laughing last night because I was watching the end of the Brentford-Chelsea game, and Chelsea were hanging on for dear life at the end. And every time they could, a player went down injured, and Brentford lot were booing. And I'm thinking, well, their memory is remarkably short, isn't it? So, but
West Ham,
the shot from Gray there was travelling.
Yeah, good block, great block by Zuma to maintain. Have a slender but vitally important advantage. Everton, of course, 3 points ahead of the Hammers going into today's game, and this would, if it stays like this, would keep it like that. Michail Antonio looking to burst or make his way into the corner, prevent it from doing so.
Looking a way to keep hold of the ball, actually keep possession. He's done that very well.
Yeah.
Bowen's done very well there to retain possession, but we've lost it there. Lanzini couldn't quite keep hold of it. So
92 minutes gone. 92 minutes gone. 2 to go. Just
Everton on the attack now. Cross gets blocked, and it's cleared, and Antonio does well to get there. Oh, he's come from offside. Yeah, I was going to say never a foul, but he just looks knackered for a second. I thought it was on his haunches. I did worry about the hamstring being felt for there, but no, it's not. It's just a bit knackered. And we've got another substitution coming on in a second. Deep cross, and well, I don't know who that was, but it's a really poor header from the Everton guy. Even allowing for it was a deep cross. I think he should have done better with that, but not particularly bothered that he didn't. So.
We are just over a minute away from hopefully the final whistle.
Yarmolenko coming on.
Added minutes of time added on, and there's no pointing out there. Yarmolenko making the briefest of appearances, really just to use up a few seconds more than anything else. Jarrod Bowen, Rio, good performance again today. Worked really hard. Not a great reward, but been all over the place, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's actually worked his socks off once again. He's in a real purple patch of form for us, and he's been notching up a few goals as well lately. So yeah, it's another one of the Jarrod Bowen alumni who had. He's another consummate performance, working hard for the team, doing everything his management asked of him.
West Ham seconds away now from securing a second win at Goodison Park in the Premier League in 2021 to follow on from that January 1-0 win. Also earned late on in the second half, Thomas Suchek scoring on that occasion. This time it was Angelo Ogbonna, 74 minutes gone to score the only goal of the game so far as the seconds ebb away.
Right, cuts out another ball again and storms forward. And he's lovely play from Rice. Plays Antonio into the box. Antonio's looking. Antonio tries to get the cold shot, gets deflective, and Pickford's now rolling the ball out and plays almost as an outfield player, desperately looking for the. We're in that time added on for the Yarmolenko sub now. Everton piling forward, desperately looking for something. Rondon's in the box and has just kicked out for a goal kick. Oh, they've given a corner. Well, not sure about that. That looked like Rondon had kicked it out. So
last chance then for
last
Everton.
chance saloon for Everton, as they say. Right, Pickford's actually come up for it. That's a yellow card for that shirt. I'm sure it's unsportsmanlike conduct. But, corner taken across, and I don't know who's coming on the end of it, but it's Gordon has come on, headed it over, and there's the final whistle.
Hey.
Well played, West Ham.
Full time at Goodison Park. It has finished. Everton 0, West Ham United 1. The Hammers securing all 3 points. A second win in 2021 in the Premier League for West Ham at Goodison Park. The only goal of the game coming in the 74th minute. Angelo Ogbonna converting a near post corner, flicking it on into the back of the net to give West Ham a priceless 3 points and another away win. And Rio, it's been quite deserved victory, isn't it? I mean, West Ham started the strongest, looked much the better team. Everton never really threatened. We'll look at the stats in just a minute, but you've got to say the Hammers really deserved it today.
Most definitely. We played all the best football, created the most chances, worked the hardest, looked the most threatening. Obviously, Everton want to come back into the game. They're a home side. As I said, it was in the top 6 position. Why wouldn't they try and eke their way back in and ask questions of us? But we coped with every single thing that they asked us. And we walked away with yet another win at a difficult ground to go to. 2 wins at Goodison Park in a calendar year. Kazoo year we have.
No. Priceless winner from Ogbonna at the end there. But do you agree with Rio? It was thoroughly deserved 3 points this afternoon?
Yeah. It's 3 deserved points. I don't think anybody, even the worst, most optically challenged of Everton supporters, wouldn't be claiming anything from that one. It was. The comments we got from Grand, I'll say, one of those games, whichever team was missing 3 of their best players wasn't winning. As usual, it was us. So I love this one. Hang your heads in shame, you useless clots. I say steady on. But
is that one of those words that gets replaced automatically? You kind of get the feeling it was.
No, it was. They said clots. So,
they did actually. Okay, fair play.
Yeah, deserve nothing here. Chance to go forth and turn a performance in like this. Nothing changes. Rinse and repeat every season. Bad the performance from at least half the side. I haven't gone back, but obviously the Iwobi loving ceased when he went off. But utterly woeful. We didn't turn up at all. We should have just got Moyes in 2019, shouldn't we?
Can I just point out? No, I'm sorry. While we're just running through those, the discussion on Sky Sports is whether or not it was a foul on Antonio by Antonio on Pickford. No. For the corner that led to the goal, which I don't think any one of us would agree with.
It's one you often see getting given quite incorrectly, in my opinion. So, I originally thought that it was Antonio got the dominant touch on that. Maybe it flicked off his glove, but that was a close one. No, it's good 3 points.
Very much so. West Ham's, just before we look back at the game, West Ham's away matches so far this season: Newcastle 2, West Ham 4, Southampton 0, West Ham 0. Dinamo Zagreb 0, West Ham 2. Man United 0, West Ham 1. Leeds 1, West Ham 2. Everton 0, West Ham United 1. I make that 5 wins and a draw from our 6 away fixtures so far, including wins at Man United, Leeds and Everton. Not bad, Rio, is it?
No, you can't fault that one little bit. You know, we're away from home. It suits our style of play, hitting on the counter, not being forced to ask the questions. Even at home, I mean, we've been undone by 2 late goals. You can't fault anything about this season, really. Maybe switching off a little bit at the end of a couple of games, but away from home, I say Everton's never been a happy hunting ground for us. I'm just trying to find a stat when we last won 2 games in a row up there. You can't be anything but delighted with that result. We're back up to 6th place now. We're doing what we know we're capable of. We're not just winning games by playing free-flowing attacking football, but we're kind of grinding out results as well here. Yeah. And let's be honest, if we'd have taken our chances in that first 15, 20 minutes, that could have been 3 or 4-0 easily.
Yeah.
Lack of a final ball has cost us a little bit, made us like sweat a little bit more than we really needed to.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rio. Match stats for you. Possession. Everton 37%, West Ham 63% possession away from home. Everton 14 shots, 2 on target. West Ham 15 shots, 4 on target. 6 corners for Everton, 9 for West Ham United. As Rio has just pointed out, West Ham rise to 6th in the Premier League, moving above Everton on goal difference. Also joint with Manchester United, also on 14 points. Brighton 4th with 15. Man City 17 in 3rd, Liverpool 18 and Chelsea 19, all having played 8 games. So the Hammers really up amongst it, in the mix up there at the moment as we look forward to a fairly big derby game next week against Tottenham, of course, about to go and play this afternoon at Newcastle, which is very interesting for a number of reasons, but we'll come to that, I'm sure, at some point. Going back to today's game, Gnome, 16 minutes to go. We win the corner, flicked on by Bonner. How often is it we've sat here in recent weeks and laughed at the statistic, that said that we were the most prolific team from set pieces, and yet here we are finally doing that, and it's enough to win a game.
It's been a long running saga. Going back to the days of the bowling, that the guys I used to sit next to back there. And the late Alan and his son Trevor, and whenever we got a corner, one of us would invariably say we never score from corners, in the hope that would break the jinx and we would score. Yeah. So it just became one of those running little habits that you do. But even last season, the second half of last season, we were taking the mickey out of that stat every time it appeared, because we palpably weren't getting anything out of it.
Yes.
So pleasant change.
Yeah, nice to see. I think that's Bonner's first goal of the season as well. A really good time to do it. Talking of Angelo Bonner, he's game by numbers, thanks to Statman Dave on Twitter. 100% tackles won, 2 tackles, only won both of them. 94% pass accuracy, 65 total touches, 4 ball recoveries, 2 long passes completed, 1 goal. A solid performance topped off with a winner, says Statman Dave. Let's have a quick word about the defence. I mean, Everton, we said this, Rio, didn't we, going into the game? Everton had a 100% record, having won all 3 of their Premier League games at home so far this season. But, we saw the stats a few seconds ago. 15 shots, whatever it was, but only 2 on target. I think it's fair to say that, we did a number, and David Moyes did a number on his old team today, didn't he?
Yeah. It looked like we altered the dynamic a little in midfield. Obviously, Declan playing a more defensive role than he has been in recent games. Although as the game progressed, he did kind of move more forward and get more involved. But Everton's midfield has been one of their stronger points of their season so far. And they've been exerting their pressure, and they've been grinding out results and doing incredibly well, utilising the players like the core, Alan. But we have nullified them today. We've made them absolutely look kind of pedestrian. From the word go, we took the game to them. We didn't let them settle. We dominated possession. and they really took time to find their feet in this game. It took them until probably the early stages of the second half for them to have about 2 or 3 minutes of sustained possession.
Yep.
So yeah, very tactically astute by Moyes today. We've worked them continuously. We asked the questions, and when our tempo did drop, as it inevitably was going to happen.
Yeah.
We come back and we didn't have. I think we kind of ground them into submission from an early stage, and it took them ages to get into their rhythm. And when they did, we just nullified them completely.
Yep.
Can I just jump in with a couple of things? Firstly, you'll notice my dad's come up behind me. I brought some work shirts down for the wash. He's doing my ironing for me. So cheers, Dad.
Well, there's a first for the live stream.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any ironing work that they need doing, see Mr. Thrower Senior down there. I'm sure he'll give you favourable rates, rates.
Very reasonable rates. Secondly, just answer to a question Rio posed.
Yeah.
The last time we won 2 on the trot at Goodison Park, first game we won 4-0, and the second game about a year later we won 2-1. First game 10th of April 1929, and the second game 15th of March 1930.
And Nome was at both of them.
Yeah. No, there was engineering works.
I don't know if you've noticed it, Nome, but on the live chat, Hobo has said there's referring to one of the most the more prolific KUMB forum members. Hobo said there's ironing board behind Nome, and
very good.
Polaroid has said, Nome, give your hand a dab of the ironing. Come on.
I'm just thinking all around. I took him to watch us play 10-pin bowling today. That's his getting him out of the house. So that's his penalty for having me drive him around all day. There you go.
As I said, a first for the live stream.
But reasonable rates. I mean, people are coming on and asking if you want to do theirs, Dad. So,
yes.
yeah, that's saying how much. So we'll take it. And just a word to Andy Welsh, who's also one of my prog mates as well as a football mate, if you like. And I'd just like to point out, if you want to come in here, Jeff, only Jeff knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You were right. You're the only one who got it right. Yeah.
Pre-match predictions. I'm going to go over them now. Let's do it. Rio went for a 2-1 win for Everton. I went for a 3-1 win for Everton. Nome, slightly more confident, went for a 2-2 draw. And our man there, young Jeff, went for a West Ham win. 2-1, Jeff, but we won't worry about that. I mean, the fact is you were the only one who correctly predicted the Hammers would take all 3 points there this afternoon. So big thumbs up to Jeff. Well done, buddy. And maybe we need to be as confident as you in future. But good stuff. Let's talk. I mean, highlights that there's not really an awful lot that we can talk about, is there, in the game? But I mean, I guess apart from the goal, the biggest talking point, Rio, from that second half was the challenge by Rondon on Thomas Souček that saw the Czech midfielder removed from the game almost immediately. For those who are just catching up, didn't see the incident, Souček went to the ground and Rondon caught him in the face with his studs. And some people felt that the foot movement suggested it might have been deliberate. What's your view? I mean, we haven't seen it again, have we, Rio? Unfortunately, but what's your overall view on what happened there? What was your take?
I actually thought it was deliberate. Obviously, looking back in slow motion, it does look worse than it does. We saw that with the challenge in the Chelsea game with the other last season.
Yeah.
Things can look abysmal in slow motion.
Yeah.
But this one, his foot did take on a natural movement. On the swing back of it, he seemed to linger a bit longer than it actually should have done. So for me, it was an absolute deliberate attempt to injure an opponent, and hopefully, in retrospect, action gets taken.
So a certain red card for you in that case.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Thank you, Rio. Nome, what was your view?
Not sure. I want to see it again. Obviously, they've moved straight on to Newcastle Spurs, which kicks off in about 25 minutes, and when they've got the 2 games like that, they don't hang around, do they? But the situation that you get is that the first view of it, when they showed the first replay of it, it looked nasty, but it's not deliberate. The second angle, and again, it does look a lot worse than the second angle.
Yes.
But it's one of those things. Well, the referee, if that had been picked up on, VAR would have looked at that, and if they thought it was deliberate, then it had gone there and then. Whether or not it gets picked up as a retrospective violent conduct, I don't think it will be, but I can see why people would say it looked deliberate. But I think that second angle was a worse angle, and sort of made it look, especially in slow motion, as Rio said, a lot worse than it was. So.
Yes, it's interesting how the TV cameras and the angles can make things look so different. We had that example a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, with the Ronaldo dive, where a lot of people felt that it was a foul, but you saw it at a completely different angle, and it was quite clearly a dreadful attempt at trying to win a penalty by the Manchester United player. But anyway, we are hoping, I say right now, to be joined by Chalks, who is joining us live from Goodison Park. Chalks made the journey up to Merseyside this afternoon with his lads, and I'm told it's a terrible reception he's got up there, but he's trying to jump on right now. So we'll see if we can get him in at some point in the next couple of minutes. But the Pink Paloma, of course, was also up there. We might be joined by him at some stage as well, but we'll see how it goes. But a vital,
Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to sort of schlep off sooner rather than later, though, because
no worries.
I'm going to go. I've got to get back home in a few minutes and leave him to drive home. So
no worries. All right. I think we're going to have a fairly short post-match chat anyway, because I don't think there was really an awful lot to talk about, was there? And, looking back, I think we've got. What was that, Jeff? I missed that.
I just said I was going home, and every time I say I'm going home, I get this. What do you do when I say I'm going home? Yeah. That's a shame now.
Yeah.
I get it every time I say it's time for me to go home. So, man of the match. Do you want me man of the match?
Of course. Let's do man of the match. We've lost Chalk, so I'm guessing we're not going to get in. But man of the match. No, let's go to man of the match. Yeah.
Some good sort of tough battling performances, and I know it's an easy cop out, but I think I'm going to give it to Rice. The number of times he stepped in, intercepted, brought the ball forward and started us off on the attack. It just sort of every time, and it's getting a bit of a cliche now, but I just wish he'd stop playing that well. People will begin to notice.
Declan Rice for Gnome. There's our man, Chalks. We'll call you in just a moment if we can get you while we're trying to get Chalks' stream sorted out. Rio, man of the match for you?
Kurt Zuma. Thought had a very impressive game at the back, a vital last-minute block, and I just thought he's pretty exemplary throughout the game.
Excellent. Zuma and Rice. Who am I going to go for? Oh, I don't know. There wasn't really anyone who was exceptional today, was there? I mean, Rice was probably the obvious candidate. I thought Ben Rama worked really hard for very little reward. Same for Jared Bowen. Again, it was another one of those performances where he did really. I think I'm going to give it to Thomas Souček today. Actually, I'm going to give it to Souček because a couple of times he went close, didn't he? Did exceptionally well.
Go on, waiting for retro action to be taken against Souček for damaging matey's boot face. Yeah.
So there you go. So a Zuma, a Rice, and a Souček. Chalks. I was just about to come to Chalks, and he's gone again, and he's disappeared. So obviously having bad connection problems. Chalks, if you can hear us, if you can jump on before we end, it'd be great to get you on. There he is. I think he's coming back now. Chalks, can you hear us? Chalks is currently on mute at the moment, so I think he's trying to log on again. But here we go. Chalks, can you hear us? You are on mute at the moment, buddy. I think Chalks might have borrowed someone else's phone. Chalks, can you hear me?
There you go.
There we go. There it is. Chalks, how you doing? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he can.
I can hear you, mate.
You can hear us. Well, you're kind of coming through. If you can hear us, let us know what you make. What was your thoughts on today, and how was the trip?
Yeah, good journey up here.
Yep.
I'm with the boys. We thought that Rice and Ben Johnson were our standout players.
Excellent. Okay, that's interesting.
Always, I don't know how it sounded over TV, but the away support sounded unbelievable in there.
Okay. Well, we couldn't actually hear it because we all had our TVs and monitors turned down. But it's good to hear that it was really loud. Talk us through the goal. Was that at your end or were you at the opposite end of the ground?
No, it was at our end.
Okay.
Difficult to say through cemetery full of Everton fans.
This is. I've got to say, Chooks, this is not the smoothest interview we've ever done. I don't know if you can hear us, but you're very, very in and out. Did you get a good view of the goal, though? I mean, did you think there was a foul on Pickford before?
I mean, we don't look great. Was there a foul on him? Was there?
No, it wasn't a foul. No, but the Everton fans and the players certainly claimed it was. I just wondered if you got a good view of it from the ground and what you thought.
Yeah, we could see it. We were right near it.
Yeah.
It didn't. Antonio did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It just looked to me like Pickford slaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was certainly a great finish from Bonner as well, wasn't it? All right, we're having real troubles with this one today. It's a
good performance. Can I just look through a tunnel?
So we've got you back now.
I'm back.
We've got you back there. One of the other main talking points, Chalks, of the second half was the incident involving Thomas Souček and Rondon. TV cameras, I don't know what your view of it was in the ground, but TV cameras suggested it might have been deliberate from Rondon. What was your interpretation of it at the time? Did you see a foul play in that?
We didn't see anything. We just saw Souček going down, and really, I was waiting for the screen to say there was a VAR check for a sending off.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like any of the players reacted either.
Yeah.
But when they came over at the end of the game, he looked like he had a bit of a nasty cut over his eye.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. It was down there. Sorry, got lost a minute. We're going on Pinky's directions.
All right. Well, he should be good. He normally knows where he's going. No, I mean, I think the thing was, it was. Result. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I mean, how's your day been overall? I mean, you managed to get up there all right in the end, because I know you had some travel difficulties initially.
Yeah, no, we got up here in the car, 4 hours.
Not bad.
Happy days. We've parked where Pinky's told us, so I'm fully expecting to get back, and there's going to be no car there.
Well, look, I hope you and the boys have a safe journey home. I mean, it's certainly been a day to remember for West Ham. We were saying during the stream, it's not often we go up there and come away with all 3 points, but we've done it now twice inside a calendar year. Of course, having one up there in January. How was the away crowd for you? I mean, a good atmosphere in there today.
I've just got to say one more. I've just got to say one more thing, Gray.
Yeah, go on, buddy.
Seeing Colin, that was humbling, mate. That bloke, he did the London Marathon, didn't he?
He did last week. Yeah.
Fuck, that man's an inspiration to all of us.
Yeah.
Really is.
For those. Yeah, top man. So for those of you who aren't aware who Chalks is referring to, we're talking about Colin Wells, who posts as Wanstead, has been a member of KUMB's forum for many, many years. He was running the London Marathon last week on behalf of the Parkinson's UK charity. It's a condition he's suffering with at the moment. And despite that, he did the entire marathon. I think he actually walked most of the 26 miles with his daughter Louise. As Chalk says, absolutely inspirational, wonderful fella. And if any of you do have the opportunity to do so, if you look at the KUMB.com Twitter feed, there is a link there to Colin's fundraiser, which you can put a few bob in if you've if you're in a position to do so. But lovely to hear he was up there today anyway, Chalks, and I hope you thoroughly enjoyed the game, as it sounds like you all did.
I think I mean, it's always way with West Ham, though, and it gets nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You don't know whether we're suddenly going to concede and then collapse, but I think maybe that's just the old West Ham, isn't it? That's the West Ham we've supported for 40 odd years.
Exactly.
And we're just different. And I'll tell you the other thing I love, Ray.
Yeah.
Is the absolute every single one of our away support was singing David Moyes' Claret and Blue Army.
Yeah.
And you can see how much it means to him when he comes off.
Yeah.
He walks past us and the grin on his face, even before the game. So it's not just the win. He knows from us supporters how much it means to actually sing someone's name when it comes to managers. Because we don't do it because we've had some tricks.
Well, it's been was it Pardew perhaps who was the last manager to have the his song? But I just want to go back to something you said a little while ago, because Ben Johnson, just a quick word about Ben Johnson. There was a few people on the forum who have been quite critical of him, and we were kind of saying during the stream, well, we haven't really seen him put a foot wrong. He seemed to be doing a perfectly capable job out there. You had him down as one of as your man of the match today.
Absolutely, I thought Declan. Look, Rice, you know what you're going to get, and he does take the piss. He's that good. Yeah. But Ben Johnson, considering he's coming in and he's filling in, he was fucking outstanding. Yeah, he didn't put a foot wrong. Yeah. I wonder what some of these people on the forum are watching at times, but
no, it was. We thought he'd done a good job as well, and obviously keeping a clean sheet at Goodison Park. And as we were saying, this is a team that have won every game at home so far, and they had 2 shots on target today. So the entire defensive unit did a fantastic job. But
and great,
as we said,
we fucking cars there.
Okay. I might have to get the bleep machine out with all this foul language, by the way, again.
Sorry, mate.
When we publish this, that's all right. I'm just delighted to hear your motor's still there and in one piece. All 4 wheels still there. Yeah, there's no bricks around.
So. I'll check the back ones.
Well, listen, you guys have a safe journey home. But before we say goodbye to you and the boys, let me just get a quick word from you on the next week's fixtures. 2 home games coming up in the next 7 days. A home to Genk on Thursday night in the Europa League, and then a home to Tottenham Hotspur next Sunday. What's your view on those 2? Do you think that's going to be another couple of wins for Moyes and the boys?
Yeah, Genk will be a harder game than Tottenham.
Yeah,
Tottenham are nothing.
Not worried about that one at all.
No, I'm so happy.
Listen,
I've just got to get out of here alive.
All right. Well, look, if you need to dash, feel free to do so. We're going to wrap up shortly anyway. But
I'm going to shoot now because I'm getting in the motor.
All right, no problem. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you coming on. Have a safe journey home, and we'll chat again soon, buddy. Anyway, you take care.
Yeah. Cheers, Gray.
Safe journey,
guys. There you go. See you later, fellas. Ta-ra, boys. Well, there you go. Chalk's the whole Chalker family there joining us live from Goodison Park. In fact, going to be a very happy journey home for the boys, no doubt, this afternoon.
No, they'll be asleep in 5 minutes.
But
right, I'm signing off.
It's not if you're not sleeping 4.
Right, there you go. Take care. Cheers, buddy. There you go.
Cheers, mate.
There you go. Chalk's joining us live from Goodison Park, part of the away crowd.
Can't turn the fucking thing off. Hang on.
Beep. Thoroughly enjoyed that win down there this afternoon. We're gonna wrap up now. We've pretty much covered everything that needs to be talked about. We're going to do so by looking ahead to, as I said, this week's games. 2 matches Thursday night at home to Genk in the Europa League. West Ham's third. Is it third or fourth? Third, isn't it? Third Europa League game. Hammers looking to maintain maximum points. And then Tottenham at home on Sunday afternoon. don't know where they are in the league now. They're playing, aren't they, in a minute? But two relatively big games, Rio, for the Hammers coming up. How do you see those going?
I think Thursday night we should be favourites against Genk.
Yeah.
What I've seen of them, and obviously the analysis given again by Will Coe and the boys on the podcast suggests that they leave themselves very much open. They play on the front foot a lot, leave a lot of gaps for us to exploit.
Yep.
We're a better side from the better league. We should kind of breeze through this one. So that's probably going to be a 1-0 defeat, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we can notch the win on Thursday night. 9 points in the group. That will put us in a really good, solid setting that we can breeze through this group without much problems. You want to win it to avoid the extra game, extra round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quietly confident about Thursday night.
Okay.
Sunday night,
and Sunday?
Sunday afternoon is a little bit, apprehensive. London derbies against them lot of all people. They're not in great form. They're more than beatable. I'm just worried that the exertion from Thursday may take its toll. I don't know if we're going to rotate the squad as much as potentially we really need to.
Yeah.
So potentially it's going to be a much tougher game. And obviously the rivalry does play a factor. Yeah. Players don't like to admit it. Managers don't like to admit it. But the anxiety and the tension, the atmosphere, it does filter through onto the pitch.
Yeah. It's
very hard one to call. But I'll be happy with just the 5 or 6-0 win. Yeah.
We'll take that. But you're confident of back-to-back wins this week, suffice to say?
I wouldn't say confident, because if I sound confident, it'll jinx the whole lot. But I'm edging towards the positive side rather than negative.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Well, look, we have been joined by a second member of the team from Goodison. The Pink Palermo is just about to join us on the stream now. Noam, I know you have to get off. I know you have to disappear. And I do also notice Mr. Thrower has been replaced by Mar Thrower as well in the background there. So we've had the whole family on today. We've had the whole Chalks family. We've had the whole. There she is.
I didn't see the ball go up. Where's the ball go up?
Substitution.
Yeah, the other brothers at home, but we don't talk about him because he supports Liverpool. So we've all got problems. So
all right, Gordon. This week, Genk on Thursday, Tottenham on Sunday. What's your thoughts? What are your hopes?
I think we'll win both. I can see what Rio's saying about Thursday and Sunday, but you've got to remember that Tottenham themselves will be playing in the Thursday night Isthmian League. So they too will have had a game. I'm not sure if they're home or away.
Yeah.
They've been playing teams like sort of the might of Gibraltar and things like that. But and you've also got the thing where you got like a cup tie where these minor teams raise their game against you. So it's always that considered. But I think we'll win both. Tottenham game might be a bit harder to win than the Genk one, but I still think we'll win both.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Everyone confident ahead of next week. Well, I mean, if you need to take your leave, Gordon, by all means do so. It's been it's been lovely having you and the team on the stream today. So goodbye to you and Jeff and Mum and Dad as well. Take care, all of you. We'll catch. My phone, my watch is talking to me. I don't know why. But take care, everyone, and we'll see you all again soon. Well, there you go.
Yes, guys, thanks a lot.
We are making a substitution of our own, actually, as you can see, because as Gordon and family disappear off of our stream, we are being replaced by the Pink Palermo. Pinky, can you hear me? And there it is, Rio. Look, with classic timing, he's disappeared.
It's like Eurovision, isn't it? In the 70s.
Well, Everton certainly got 0 points this afternoon. But it is a bit like that, isn't it? It's we're having problems today. This normally only happens, of course, when we're playing home games and we're trying to get older people at the London Olympic Stadium when it's impossible to do so. Normally on our away games, we're absolutely fine getting people to come on. Pinky's disappeared completely for the minute, so hopefully we'll get him back. But I'm just seeing, Rio, on my screen. They're showing shots from St James's Park this afternoon. We've just seen pretty much every famous Newcastle fan you can ever think of, including Ant and Dec, have turned up to the game this afternoon. I guess Steve Bruce might be wondering why they haven't bothered, when they were rubbish, as it were, which they could have been a beneficial term. But let's touch on that briefly while we're just hanging around to see if Pinky does pop on. What's your view on the whole Newcastle thing? Of course, that's all erupted over the last couple of weeks. Now, technically, the wealthiest club in the world. What do you make of the takeover there?
So I had a little bit of a kind of inside track on it because one of the people involved comes into our place of work every now and then.
Okay.
Let's take away the politics side, because politics and sports should never mix. And it'd be hypocritical of us to point fingers at Newcastle United doing business with Saudis when our government does so. So that's my last word on that. My hope at the moment is that Newcastle get relegated. Every single player in that squad knows they're on borrowed time. They may be playing for their footballing futures. They're not playing for their footballing futures at Newcastle United. They're playing for their footballing careers elsewhere.
Yeah.
Now, how that's going to affect morale, team performance in the future, we just don't know. But every single member of staff, player-wise, manager-wise, is on borrowed time. I think it's going to have a negative effect in the interim. Once the money starts flowing through and they attract a better calibre of player, it's going to be a different matter. But I think it's going to take at least 3 or 4 years before the wealth starts to filter through and kick in and have visible effects on the pitch. It's going to be a rebuilding job. If they're on about getting Frank Lampard in as manager, which is one of the rumours, he could be an ideal choice because he's had a successful period as a championship manager.
Yeah,
with Derby, because that's where they're heading.
Yeah,
they've got a rebuild job to do. They've got a rebuild job to do to get out of the championship when that happens, because I'm pretty adamant it will do. And they've got a rebuild job to get out of the championship, which we know isn't easy. Once they do get out of it, which they obviously will, because they've got the money to throw at it. They've got to cement themselves in that Premier League, first of all. And it's a complete change of culture of that club. I mean, I haven't got much against Newcastle, I mean, I'm a big fan of Fazer and Pep, Mark Knopfler's a nice bloke. Brian Johnson, AC/DC singer, comes to Newcastle, lovely fella. We've got nothing against Newcastle, the town, the city. The entitled support, different issue. But every time I've been up there, I've had a thoroughly entertaining weekend. And, it's nice to see someone potentially upset the apple cart.
Yeah.
Because we're sick of the big 5 or 6 as they're so-called now.
Yep.
It's just, I don't think it's as plain sailing as everyone seems to think it's going to be. And the likes of Liverpool, City, United are all kind of terrified about the prospect rather than thinking long term it's going to take 5 or 6 years for this all to come into play.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting point you make, because I think you're absolutely right about the players, first of all. I mean, the fact is all those players who are there now being cheered and by 50,000 Newcastle fans, including, as I said, Ant and Dec, who appear to have rediscovered where St James's Park is. As you say, they know they're going to be out on their ear within a year or two, or when their contracts expire. And of course, if Newcastle, with this current team, and there's no evidence that they can get out of the trouble they're in, who's going to want to go there in January? I mean, they're talking about buying these enormously talented players, but who's going to want to go and join a club that's going to be, say, entrenched in a relegation battle, regardless of what happens, however good they are? That's all they're going to be looking at this season, is to get out of that, isn't it, and try and survive. Yeah. And I kind of wonder who's going to want to go there. And so you're then looking at summer, and I just wonder if do you know what? It kind of reminds me in a way. Remember when we had Tevez and Mascherano come in on transfer deadline day 2006, and we all thought all of a sudden Kira Jarabchian was all over the news. We all thought this was it. This was the start of something beautiful at West Ham, and of course, it couldn't have gone any worse, really, could it? But it kind of reminds me of that in a way. Do you get that? It's kind of a similar scenario, and I kind of feel. Now, I'm like you. I like Newcastle. I've got lots of happy memories of the place, and still got some friends in that part of the world. But I kind of hope it all crashes and burns as well in a way, which is, you sort of want the worst for your opponents, don't you? But I mean, let's bring this back to West Ham. What does it mean for us? This extra, is it just another club that we're going to be battling against in that top 5 or 6, and does it push West Ham further down the footballing pyramid?
In theory, it pushes every single club a further spot down.
Right.
But football never. It's different in the Premier League era. Football never stagnates normally, and the top 4 or 5 constantly evolves.
Yeah.
Who were the top dominant clubs in the early 70s?
Yeah.
Not the same clubs as now. I mean, obviously Liverpool are, but even they went 25 odd years without a league victory.
Yeah.
Now, these things evolve. I just think Newcastle and Manchester City financially should be dominant in the future. But there's no guarantees. And like we said, it's a massive rebuild before anything kind of kicks off in Newcastle. And it's going to take, for me, at least 3 or 4 years before any kind of positive moves come to fruition for that particular side. I just think it's a car crash waiting to happen initially rather than an instant fix.
Yeah, I think if any club's likely to do that as well as West Ham, it is Newcastle, isn't it? But anyway, enough of the Geordies in the northeast. We are joined by another one of our own, who is now safely ensconced in his vehicle by the looks of things, making his way back from the blue half of Stanley Park. We are joined by the Pink Palermo. Pinky, we were just about to wrap up, but I'm glad you've managed to come on. How are you doing, buddy? Everything okay?
Yeah, very good, thank you. And that was the very definition of a hard-fought victory this afternoon.
Yeah,
and a brilliant 3 points for West Ham United this afternoon. How many times have we seen it over the years? 1-0 up with a few minutes to go, and we capitulate. We concede the late goal, and sometimes 2 late goals, to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. But David Moyes has definitely put some resilience into this team. And bearing in mind, we utterly dominated that first half today. I mean, I can't recall ever going to Goodison Park and bossing 45 minutes of football the way we did today.
Have you seen these stats, by the way?
No, I've not seen the stats for the... No, go on.
Okay, well, the first half, if I remember correctly, we enjoyed 69% of possession, which I think is, as we remarked at half-time, is unheard of in this modern era for West Ham United, especially in an away Premier League match, which backs up what you're saying, of course. Yeah.
I mean, I asked Nigel, who stands next to me, and he had us down at 103%. But I'm not quite sure how he figured that out. But I think I got the gist of what he was saying, and we bossed it. But for all our control, I actually felt Everton had the best chance of the first half, which they failed to convert, and thankfully they did, because they're the sort of team that if you give them the lead, it's very hard to wrestle something off them then. But today, you have to say, Mikel Antonio, again, there cannot be a defensive lineup in the league that want to play against him, because he gave everything today. And all I ask from any West Ham United player is effort. I can forgive a misplaced pass. I can forgive, a finish that isn't quite as good as you'd want it to be.
Yeah.
But as long as they put in the effort, and Antonio today I thought was superb. I thought Decker's, again, what more can you say about the young lad?
Yeah.
He's just gave another consummate performance there today. I believe it was Rondon that gave Souček a bit of afters, wasn't it?
Well, I was going to come on to that in just a minute. If we could do that now, actually, as you mentioned it. Before I do that, I'll just point out that Newcastle are already a goal ahead against Tottenham. They scored just after 2 minutes up there. Yes, it was Rondon. And now you, of course, won't have seen the replays, having been at the match and just seen it live. But there is an angle which I think Rio and I both agreed tends to show that it was quite a deliberate action by Rondon. And having looked at that, it's difficult to see anything else. Now, you've obviously only seen it in real time, but what was your view?
My view is a bit of afters, but you don't see the detail until you get home and see it on the telly. And I'm afraid I'm not sure what the rules are on that. I think it's a case if the ref doesn't see it on the pitch. Can it be reviewed? Because it really should be. It's naughty stuff, and you think for professional players, you can only categorise it as a deliberate attempt to hurt a fellow professional,
right?
And that's not on. It really isn't on, and because I'm assuming Souček will be out for Thursday, which is well, you might argue, well, not necessarily a bad thing. He could probably do with a week off in some regards, but not like that. So for my money, very, very naughty by the Everton lad, and dare I say it, it's a club that's got a bit of a reputation for that over the years, hasn't it? A bit of the school of science. Don't make me laugh. More like school of dark arts. If you want my view.
All right, no, fair enough. That's good. It's good to hear, refreshing. I mean, we had Chalks on a few minutes ago who kind of agreed. I think it also felt it was naughty, though he didn't really see it too clearly. But one thing you will have seen very clearly would have been the goal. Now, there was some the TV after the game were talking about whether or not it might have potentially been a foul by Michail Antonio on Pickford for the incident that led to the corner. Don't think there's any suggestion it was. I think they were just trying to see something that wasn't there. But tell me about your view of that, and also the goal itself, which of course was West Ham finally scoring from a set piece after all this time.
Yeah, and remarkably, and excellent news for me that shuts up Jeff to the right of me at every game, because I'm not joking. From the third minute today, it was, we never score from set pieces anymore.
Yeah, but he's right, isn't he? I mean, Jeff would have been right. Yeah,
he's absolutely on the money. And but no, in terms of what led up to it, no foul on the keeper anywhere to be seen. And again, when you have the type of game that Antonio does, a lot of refs will cave into that sort of thing. But you got to say, set pieces, we've seen it from Brentford in recent weeks, the importance of them and having little routines worked out. And I don't know if you saw the Brentford-Chelsea game yesterday. There was nothing else on. I searched 74 channels, and that was the only thing I could find to watch. But I saw Brentford time after time yesterday from set pieces exploit what they had, and it's such an important part of the game. So for us to get the goal from it, very, very pleasing indeed today. And you take that all day long, because a quick scoot around the away regulars before kick-off, you get your predictions. What would you take, lads? Almost to a man, we were all saying we'd take a point. Hang on.
Sounds like Pinky's outside the camera briefly there. You all right, buddy? You okay?
Yeah. I'm good. I mean, how unlucky would you have to be the one person caught on Merseyside? It wouldn't be the week you've bought a lottery ticket, would it? But
well, look, we were. I mean, Rio, you pointed out the fact, didn't you, that I think you mentioned the Brentford game. I asked whether we'd kind of really we were talking about the short corners that Cresswell and Fornals were taking, weren't we, Rio? And you were pointing out that this was something that started a couple of weeks ago against Brentford. That we had started to vary that, hadn't we?
Yeah, we've altered the dynamics the last couple of games, obviously because the options utilised last season have been running dry, not been quite getting the same results, obviously. I said I'm not a fan of it, because it takes an attacking player out of the centre of the ball coming out of the area and lose another option now. But the actual delivery for the goal, fantastic by Cresswell, right on the money. Ogbonna gets his head there. And as I said during commentary, the biggest bonus for me was seeing Mr. Angry Jordan Pickford get made to look like an absolute mug, because he was absolutely nowhere for the corner. Don't know if it's mind games because he was protesting before. Apparently he's been protesting after the whistle as well. He really needs to kind of calm down a bit, because he's going to have himself a coronary sooner or later.
Yes, I mean, it certainly seemed like a valid goal. And of course, we're talking about variations in the corners, but it was a pretty direct corner to the near post from which we scored. But one thing we couldn't agree on, Pinky, was man of the match. Now, Nome went for Declan Rice. I think he might have gone for Declan Rice every week so far, and with good reason, because he's been absolutely, exceptional, pretty much week in, week out. Rio, you went for Zuma, was it?
Yeah, Kurt Zuma.
Kurt Zuma. I went for Souček, and Chalks, who we had on a few moments ago, Pinky, went for Ben Johnson. Would you go with any of those, or would you go for someone else entirely?
I think they've all got shouts, and I think I praise young Ben Johnson because his distribution today was good. He's very composed today, and he's a young lad. You go away to Goodison Park, and he stood up to it well today. So he had a decent enough game. I mean, my two picks would have come down to either Antonio or Rice.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm going with Mikel Antonio for the simple reason, on two occasions this afternoon, to relieve the pressure, he chased the lost causes and battled and occupied 3 and 4 Everton players who were trying to wrest the ball off him. And just for a few moments, it relieves the pressure on our end. Yeah. And your teammates look up and they see that and go, thank God we've got Antonio in the team, because just that sheer work rate. And you look at, people bang on about Sebastian Haller and all the rest of it, and look at his scoring fun for Ajax, what it is. I don't care if he scores 100 goals for them. He didn't run and he didn't work for us. Mikel Antonio, I don't particularly care if he never scores another goal for us, but if he works and runs the way he did for us today, he's getting in that team shape. So for today, he was my man of the match. But I'd also say Declan Rice, what a pleasure. What an absolute pleasure it is to watch such a complete midfielder today. Up and down the pitch, attacking at one end, tracking back at the other, making vital interceptions, challenges. For any of us are lucky enough to go and watch him in the flesh week in, week out, cherish every single moment, because he is a fabulous, fabulous footballer. And he had another very, very good game today.
Yeah, he did. They played exceptionally well. And I've got to say, I think, that's the first time that when we've got the regular 4 on the stream, that we've all disagreed, and with Chalks in there as well today, that's 5. So I think that's a first when we've had 5. But it kind of goes to show, in one sense, I suppose, that nobody really excelled, but it also shows that everybody played their part this afternoon. I mean, and again, you could have quite easily gone for Jared Bowen, who ran his socks off, played really, really well. Unlucky, could have had a goal or two of his own. Side Ben Rama, didn't get much luck today, but as Rio and I and Noam were pointing out throughout the stream, was working like a Trojan to track back and put in tackles. So it was Bonner, of course, the scorer of the goal, who's normally the first player up for a man of the match award. So really, everybody had a shout, which is good stuff, I suppose. But before we move on, Rio, have you got any questions you wanted to put to Pinky as our man at the ground this afternoon?
No, I know Chalks mentioned the atmosphere there. I mean, also we can't hear it because we have to have the volume off. But I'm presuming, and I'm going to just reiterate, Pinky, that's our first back-to-back win at Goodison since 1930. I presume everyone's in fantastic voice.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, and thank you very much to young Danny Dyer for providing the away support with a couple of good, nice songs now for Jared Bowen, which I can imagine her old man will be watching games with the volume down for some time. Maybe he'll tune into Eyes Up Mother Brown, where he can't hear the chants. But yes, there are a couple of choice ones today, which I can't repeat, bearing in mind this is a family show.
Didn't stop Chalks.
Well, yeah, indeed. It's he can be, I don't know, he can be Chubby Brown to my my Keith Chegwin or something like that. But no, I mean, very good atmosphere today. Very well attended by West Ham. 2:00 on a Sunday, not the most popular kickoff time in the world, and a lot of happy people there because, as I said before kickoff, all of us are thinking a point is a good result at Goodison. To
Yep.
come away with all three, it kind of cancels out the disappointment of the Brentford result at home. You know, and it's the sort of thing, if you have a soft reversal at home, you need to get back in the saddle again, fast as possible, and regain some momentum. And I think we can look forward to Thursday night against Genk with good heart. And going to the Lane next week, I mean, there'll be no Son in their team. They've obviously got a fading Harry Kane in their lineup. And, you know, again, I've said it before, Gareth Southgate, how he must bitterly regret letting Mikel Antonio slip through the net. And he's opted for Jamaica when he's now stuck with a fading, aging Harry Kane, who limits the way we can play as an England setup. And if I was Southgate, I would be pleading with Mikel Antonio to actually change his mind, suddenly discover that he's as English as, I don't know, Stilton and Port or whatever it may be, and declare for England again, because he's playing really well. And for years, I always subscribed to the theory, the Brian Clough theory. If a player can't, trap a ball by the time he gets to him, he can't teach him.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to say, under David Moyes and the current coaching staff, Antonio looks a completely different footballer. He really does. And there were two or three things today. One occasion in particular, he brings the ball down off his chest with a player all over him, onto his right peg, plays the subtlest touches, a 2-yard pass, towards his left to put a man into space. And you're thinking, if that was Didier Drogba, they'd be saying, well, that's par for the course for Drogba. Yeah. That's how good Antonio can be at moments, and we're lucky to have him. So, yeah, I'm a happy chappy tonight, I can tell you that.
Well, listen. I mean, we just before you came on, we look at this sequence. Newcastle 2, West Ham 4, Southampton 0, West Ham 0, Dinamo Zagreb 0, West Ham 2, Manchester United 0, West Ham United 1, Leeds United 1, West Ham United 2, Everton 0, West Ham United 1. 6 away games, 5 wins, 1 draw. Is this the best season ever to be an away season ticket holder?
It needed to go something to beat 15, 16, I think. I think we had a couple of good runs there. I remember winning away at the City of Manchester Stadium, where it was like the Alamo for about 70 minutes. We won away at Anfield that season. So, I think not quite, but it could get there if we go to those grounds and pick up points again. So it's just a great time to be a West Ham United supporter, because at the minute, David Moyes is getting the absolute maximum out of quite a small squad. And we genuinely can't ask for more than that, surely. He's for all this sort of talk about who Newcastle are going to get, and, assuming they part company with Steve Bruce and things like that, I generally think we've probably got the best performing manager in the league at the minute, because Pep Guardiola, I'm not being funny, but if you've got £1 billion of players on your books, you should be winning every week, and it should be 3 and 4 and 5-0. If you're Jurgen Klopp and you've got, Firmino, Salah, Jota and all the rest of them up top, well, you should be winning every week. 4 and 5-0, and generally they do. If you are David Moyes and you've got a converted wide midfielder playing as your only striker, then actually the fact that you're winning away from home every week, that makes you a pretty damn good manager in my books. And I think very, very happy indeed on the road at the minute.
Yeah, I can imagine. It makes these. I mean, what's this? A 4-hour journey to Goodison Park. It must make it all the more enjoyable driving home. One would assume.
One thing's for certain: had they got a last-minute equaliser or something, the journey would have taken twice as long. It's one of those. But I can now contemplate for the next 3.5 hours. Is it going to be Chinese? Is it going to be Indian? Is it going to be a kebab? Or will it be a pizza? How about a poll on KUMB? Yeah. What should I have for dinner? Something of that nature. But,
let us know. Let us know on the live chat. Yeah. What should Pinky have? You got plenty of time for him to think about. As you said, another 210 minutes or so to go before they get back to deepest, darkest Essex from Merseyside. But we're going to wrap it up there anyway, Pinky, to allow you and the guys there to chat more about the game. Tottenham have equalised, by the way, at St James's Park. It's 1-1 there at the moment. Final word, please, gentlemen, on what we've seen today. Everton 0, West Ham United 1. West Ham back up to 6th in the Premier League, level on points with Everton, level on points with Manchester United, only 5 points adrift of the current league leaders at the moment. Rio, last word on what you've seen.
What was an incredibly bright opening. A couple of little things marred the game for me. Antonio getting booked for what was deemed a dive, which I'm still not convinced by. Thomas Souček's facial injury. I've actually just WhatsApped you the picture on, so you can peruse that at your leisure.
Thank you.
Again, which looked very deliberate, but you do not go to places like Goodison twice in a calendar year and win. It's taken 90 odd years for us to do that.
Yeah.
It's a ground I have particularly bad memories of visiting as a visiting supporter, because I don't think I've ever pulled off a result there. I think barely one goal. I'm just delighted for the likes of Pinky. The other supporters have gone up there, Chalks. We've gone and absolutely smashed them today. Not smashed them in terms of playing them off the park, but we smashed them in terms of negotiating a really, really tricky away day, and we come away with a win. And I'm just absolutely delighted. As a West Ham fan, I'm just so delighted with what we've done today. It wasn't the glossy, polished performance, but it showed grit. It showed early promise. We stuck at it. And I still think Jordan Pickford's probably moaning now. So I'm just delighted about that even more.
A different kind of West Ham we saw today. I just looked at the picture you've WhatsApped me, actually, and I think it's quite apt for this time of year, what with Halloween coming up right now. In fact, I thought it was Ian Dowie I was looking at first of all, but that's pretty nasty what he's got there. I'm sure there'll be repercussions. Pinky, final word on what you've seen today, live from Goodison Park.
A comprehensive, hard-fought victory that not many teams are going to go to Goodison and come away with all 3 points this season. And it's exactly the sort of place, if you have genuine aspirations to be in that top 5-6 clubs, that you've got to go to the likes of Goodison and come away with all 3 points. Really good win today. Very, very happy. And in particular, I'm impressed with the way that Declan Rice is gradually turning into a tall Tom Cruise. If you look at him, I'm thinking Tom Cruise round about, his mid-20s. Declan Rice is now starting to look like him. And today wasn't mission impossible, but it was certainly mission difficult. But on 90 minutes, it was absolutely mission accomplished. So well done to West Ham today.
Beautiful, poetic, in fact. What a way to end. Tottenham have just scored again at St James's Park. It's all gone very quiet in the Newcastle ends. That's it for us today on the KUMBTV Eyes Up Mother Brown stream. It has finished. Everton 0, West Ham United 1. The Hammers winning a 5th away game this season. Still yet to be beaten on the road. 5 wins and a draw in all competitions. Absolutely incredible stuff. And to, as Rio said, the just reward for these guys who go in, week out, been doing it for years, for little reward, and are now finally getting to see a West Ham team that's deserving of that kind of support, quite frankly. And it's absolutely fantastic. The Hammers back up to the 6th in the Premier League, back into the Europa League on Thursday against Genk. And then it's some team called Tottenham, who we've just mentioned a few moments ago, at the London Olympic Stadium next weekend, to see if we can carry on this return to form. Thank you to everyone who's joined me on the live stream today, to Rio, who's been with me from the start, to the Thrower family, to the Chalks family, all of whom have made appearance, to Pinky and the boys there, making the journey back from Goodison Park. Have a safe trip, fellas, and we'll let you know what you can have for your dinner a little bit later on. That's it. We'll see you. Oh, and of course, thank you to all of you who've joined us on the live stream and contributed to the show. Thank you to everyone for sticking with KUMB. Get on the forum a bit later. Join us on there and let us know what you thought of the game. There'll be plenty, of course, to talk about. That's it from us. West Ham, another win. Great stuff. It's getting almost a little bit boring, isn't this? Winning every week. It's quite uncanny. Still, no, it's not, is it, Rio? Not at all. But I'm still trying to get to grips with it. Unheard of. Great stuff. This is the new West Ham, and we're all absolutely loving it. Until next week.